headphones in?
What? One sec. Let me. How's this? Can you hear me? Yeah. Let me make I know.
Look at this guy
I
with
know.
the fucking with the glasses.
Oh, hello. You like my blue light blocker?
Is that what it is?
Is to block the blue lights.
It's the black the blue lights.
Yeah, and also look studious. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
And because my face is getting fatter in my old age, so I don't know if it's slimming or sometimes I feel it makes me look like I'm wearing those those like party store disguise kits. It's like
Yeah,
glasses
yeah.
with the big ass nose. Sometimes I feel like that's what I look like too. So
I'm getting old. I had to increase the font on my phone the other day. It's like shit.
oh, so that you could see it better.
Yep.
Oh, is
My
that
eyeballs were hurting.
is it? You should try parting the whiskers in front of your face
Oh,
from that.
oh, I do.
Yeah. You got to get it out of the. It probably gets into your eyesight.
I train them to lay down sideways so they don't stab my wife, and I don't chew on them while I'm eating.
Oh, there's so many inappropriate jokes right there, man.
Oh yeah, very much so.
But yeah, that thing is fucking luscious. The flavor saver, the flavor saver.
I just started growing it about a month ago. I'm holding on to this bad boy
What?
for a while.
From a month ago.
Yeah, you get older, you start growing hair.
Yeah, me too. I've been growing this for like a month too. So. So my Filipino blood. So I used to. I was just talking to one of my buddies yesterday about this, because he has a fucking luscious beard as well. He's got that
Yeah.
little bigote like you. Actually, he's got a full beard. But so I used to almost grow no facial hair for years, and then the first time I tried to grow it out, was on my uh deployment. And so we're all trying like this a thing we say like growing a deployment stash.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
basically like you don't shave. Well, I mean, yeah, you don't shave for the whole deployment so you can grow it out because they look disgusting. And
Yeah, well, you have to keep them at like the corner of your mouth too, right?
yeah, you still
I did it once.
you had to keep it in regs. But for us, because we were at a team site, so we were in like a remote team site, so it was just us and then the team that we were attached to, and then the local military forces that we were like training with and liaisoning with.
Yeah.
And so we would go for like a month where we wouldn't have to see our command, because our site was on like a literal island that you could only get to from a helo. They only did night
Oh,
flights,
wow.
so we were like fucking remote. And the
So you
good
knew
thing
when
was,
Boss Man was coming in.
yeah, because the only way they could get they have to like we have to like do a whole con op, and they have to fill out like the helo request, and so it's a whole rigmarole. So we know
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they can't just pop up and be like, well, inspection
Oh,
time. You know what I mean?
inspections. That's
Yeah,
right.
they have to give us a heads up. And so we would grow our shit out for like a month, and then they would come and we'd trim it down so that was like barely in regs.
Yeah.
Like kind of give ourselves a tiny little haircut. And so I growing mine out, it grew from here down to here. So I had a half Fu Manchu, but this side was blank. So it was literally like my Filipino,
Drew that
like
shit.
I guess this was my Filipino side because there was like no hair, but then the other side grew down.
That's
Like,
right.
and
That's awesome.
I have to find a picture. It's like a mustache that, ooh, it was so nasty. Oh, so
My
gross.
first in regs one I did in I was in a reserves and everybody challenged everybody to join and do the old November thing.
Yep.
Well, we had to keep it in regs still. Well, I looked absolutely horrendous with Chester the molester for sure. It's like I am not growing that ever again.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing pretty good with you got the good fireman. You look like you should be the chief. You're not the chief. I don't know how the ranks work in firehouses. Who's the top?
The fire chief.
So, where are you? What are you in the line of succession? Like if it's the
Uh,
British royal family,
so
are you Meghan
so
Markle? Or are you getting kicked out or what?
No.
Okay.
My next move would be to an assistant chief. So I can either pick up an ops chief position or like training chief, and then from there, then you move into the fire chief's position.
So
Sometimes you can lateral move. Most of the time, like past history at Cherry Point, we do. Most ops chiefs are the training chief first. You get that idea, that aspect, and then you go back to the actual floor work and become an assistant chief ops, and then move up.
so you're an assistant to the assistant chief.
I am an assistant to the assistant chief. I'm a captain. I'm a higher ranking firefighter.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I never knew. So I always knew that they had ranks, but I didn't know how it worked because it's the same thing like with police because it's like semi-military structure. But
Right.
so is it? Yeah. So how does the structure kind of? So when you come in, all right, hold on. Let me back up a little bit first. So my idea of firemen, like what I know of is like there's volunteer fire departments or whatever that
Yep.
people hear about a lot, and then so are those different things? Are there specific volunteer fire departments, or is the volunteer a like section or a portion or like an augment to standard set firehouses? How does that work, or is
So
it different depending where you go?
so you'll have cities that have your paid firefighters, so they're called the career firefighters,
Okay,
and
okay.
then you'll have volunteer firefighters, volunteer departments that they are they're the ones who are responsible for ensuring they drop like insurance rates around the area. So the better they are, which is why they try and
Excuse me.
keep volunteers as much as possible, the better they are, the lower your insurance rates are. So they have a good response. If they have good training and they can prove all of that, then you have that. But that's fully volunteer. There are certain paid positions in there because they'll staff like a full time person. But and then you'll have like pay by call volunteer departments. Um, some actually hire a couple of people to stay on shift, just to man trucks, and then everybody else will still meet there voluntarily. Um, but your majority of your fire departments across the U.S. are volunteer.
Mm. So did you? Oh no, I was gonna say, did you start up volunteer? But I forgot you went. So you went to you did Air Force Reserves, then you went to uh f- or you went to Air Force Basic, and then you went to Fire Dog School,
Yep,
and then you went straight into.
I got lucky enough to get a position on Camp Lejeune. I was actually offered by Cherry Point initially, um, but they didn't want to hire me without my EMT basic. So then I said, "Screw it! I'll take the old position down at Lejeune." And they gave me a an opportunity to put me through school to get my EMT basic. So
So I go. What was that? High tech.
technical difficulty.
Very high production value here. Only the best.
You just read that out.
The best for my prince. Uh, uh,
That's
We're,
good.
we're very innovative. We're very innovative. We can make great things. As you can see here, this is my soundproofing, my original soundproofing. I just pulled when you get delivery, grocery delivery, the cold pack bags or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
I pulled the stuffing out.
No,
That's
you
what I
did
did.
not.
Yeah, I did. That's what this is. I started adding, like all my shit that I do. I like unti unti. I don't know what it is. Whenever I talk to you, I always want to speak Tagalog to you. Do you remember?
That's because we,
I've
that's
done like
because we spent years practicing just screwing around with it.
even in high school, I remember we used to speak English, but with a Filipino accent to every like especially to each other, but to
Nonstop.
everybody. People fuck it drove people.
I
I
loved
know
it.
people hated it. They're
It
like,
was the
"What the
best.
fuck? Like, why do these dudes have such thick accents? Like, what the fuck is going on? Hey, you over here, come here,
You
come
come
here,
here.
come here right now. Halika, 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 dito."
God bless, man. We had such a good time in high school.
Oh man, yeah. So I'm getting off of the thing, but I want to talk about this too. I don't have any structure. I have like a ADD structure to all my conversations, but you know that you've met me before.
Oh yeah.
Uh, damn, there's so many things. I was just, I'll go back in a second. But so I remember in high school, one of my favorite memories is when we made those blow dart guns.
Oh my god, dude! I tell that story all the time.
One of my most favorite things is you were sitting in your Thunderbird, right? You had the
My
like.
Camaro, I had just gotten that thing.
Oh, it was? Oh, so it was after you got the
Yeah.
Camaro. So I guess we were probably seniors then, right? Yeah.
Yep.
You're sitting in there. You're in the driver. You're sitting in there. You're like holding the steering wheel, and I think you're like talking to a chick or something,
It might have been.
or one of our
I was either
buddies.
talking to that, or it might have been. God, what's his name? Uh,
Skylar.
might have been Skylar. Might have been Skylar. I was
This
talking
fucker. I
to.
want to. We got so many stories about this fucker too. But anyway,
Jesus.
so anyway, you're sitting in there. You're holding the thing, and you're talking to someone. This is my memory. You can correct it if I get it wrong. But this is what I remember. I remember. Oh, and the pretext of this is we made dart guns. So we made basically like straws, and then we took nails and pins and needle. We just found whatever we could,
Tacks. We took
tacks,
we took tacks, and
whatever
you
we
had
could.
feathers.
Yeah,
I
to
don't even
make
know where
them.
we got the feathers
Yeah,
from.
we made like fletching for it. Like
Yep.
yeah, on the end so that they would fly well. We're very innovative, as we said
Yes.
before. And so, anyways, I had mine, and I remember I pop up on the passenger side window, and I'm like, ha! And I just shoot it, and I remember it just goes, phoom, just nails your hand like the most perfect, like.
Bro, it was the perfect shot. Like I was just looking at it, and I screamed, "Ah!"
Yeah, I remember because I'm like your face is you're looking this way talking like that, so you're like blah 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 like this, and I remember I shoot it and it goes, "Thoop," and there's like a pause because I remember it goes, "Thoop," and you go, and you look at it like, what the, ah! First you look to see what it is, and you're like, no, you just
That
like
was the
look at me,
best.
you're like, no.
I still tell my kids about that story. I tell everybody I can, man. That was some creative shit. That was a good shot too.
Oh, it was the best. I can hear my kid stomping around out there, but I forgot she's on spring break this week.
Yeah, my
Uh
kids are on Good Friday too today. They're running around upstairs.
oh. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess it is because yeah, it's Easter Sunday, huh?
Yep.
The day after April Fools yesterday. But yeah, yeah. So, going back to so yeah, yeah. You got lucky. You were the position at Lejeune,
Lejeune. Yeah.
and
Yeah, I
then
got hired as a firefighter there, and then I spent 5.5 years there, um, and then transferred to Cherry Point.
Hmm.
And I've been there for 7 years, which is crazy to think.
Jeebus. So, oh yeah, yeah. So you're a GS and you're in this
Yeah,
position. All right. So how does for reserves for the federal time? How does that work? Like it
didn't count.
at all?
Nope.
What
Yep.
the? I thought there was like some weird thing about how like I don't
So
the years.
if I had like deployed my deployed time frame, I could have tacked that on as part of my retirement in the civil service.
Mm-hmm.
But because I didn't deploy, and the only time I had active duty, I had like a year. I think a year of active duty, but it was all for training.
Damn. That's
Yeah.
so are you still you're not in the reserves anymore?
Nope.
Mm.
Nope. I got out at I went IRR at 9 years. No, 10 years, and I ETS'd at 11.
Interesting. That's
Yep.
so none of that time counts for anything.
Nothing.
Well, I guess you got your training, which set you up for the career you're in now. But
And that's what I'm thankful for. And of course, I got to go a ton of places, so it was awesome. And 10 years of traveling, I went overseas many times, and I got to see some pretty good stuff.
where'd you go overseas?
My first annual tour was to England,
What?
and I ate like a friggin' king over there. Of course, I was young too, so I drank all the good beer. That was when I could handle beer. I can't handle any drinks now.
Yeah.
But God bless. After that, man, I went to Guam, which was awesome.
Oh, I've heard. Yeah, I had some dudes I knew from Guam. It seems pretty
Yeah, Guam
nice.
was amazing. I mean, it's a tiny ass island. You're not going to see much, but the sites. I got to see everything in 2 weeks, and then went to Italy, and in Italy I branched out. We did a lot of traveling up there. Went to Croatia, went to Germany. Um, so, and that's pretty much all my overseas, I think. Yeah.
Croatia. Do you know what Stipe Miocic is?
Uh,
I thought you don't have like a picture of him in your firehouse next to like Jesus and whoever the like fireman commandant is or something.
no, no.
He was the heavyweight champion for the UFC, and he's a
Oh,
full
really?
time, yeah, he's like a full time firefighter. So it's like it's crazy. So I mean, he's been
Dang.
the most dominant heavyweight champion ever so far, and they have pictures of him like because he works at the firehouse and he's just like a regular dude. So he's like in there.
Yeah.
They have pictures of him like scrubbing the toilet and shit like that. And you're like, this is the baddest man on the planet. It's literally
Yeah, no
he's
doubt.
the heavyweight MMA champ. Like he can beat up every single other man in the world that we know of. And he's like
Right.
in there just like smiling, like gotta do my chore, like
Got to
chore and
do
gotta
my
get to
job.
yeah. So he's like super cool, like a real blue collar. I don't know. I just
That's
assumed that
awesome.
like all they'd have a picture of him next to Jesus in like every firehouse, or like because I know like
Nope.
in the Marine or even I know in the Air Force, like in the command hallway or whatever, they always have
Oh,
like
yeah.
the president and then every like the whole chain of command down.
Yep.
Like I feel like all firehouses should have like a Stipe Miocic up there.
Maybe I need to get that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, no, that was a thing. I'm pretty sure his family is like originally from Croatia, but he lives in Cleveland now. But
Nice.
yeah, yeah, you should look him up. Get a little candle and burn like
Make a
incense
little
next to
shrine.
yeah
Make a
next to
little
him.
shrine for him.
Or I guess maybe not burn it since you're in a firehouse. Maybe do something different than candles. But so for your training, so when you were like doing fire dog stuff, you said that you because originally the one unit wouldn't take you because you didn't have your EMT training. So
Yeah.
is that something that's common among firefighters to be like you call it like dual qualified, or is it a bonus
Well,
or
so it used to be back in the day, firefighters, for the most part, only carried like emergency responder or first responder certificates, which is basically you get there and you can perform CPR and very basic life saving skills. And then they started pushing towards having the advanced EMT, which is the EMT basic. And then a lot of departments, like the really big cities, they're pushing for everyone to have paramedic,
mm,
which paramedics can do a ton of stuff in the field. So, and it's just to provide a better quality of service for you know your community. So,
right, yeah, that makes sense. And
yeah.
do you get paid more for having that training?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh yeah. Like so all of our paramedics that work on the installation, they come in as GS9s,
Okay.
which took me uh, roughly 12 years to obtain through becoming a captain.
To get to GS9?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
So all
12
firefighters
years?
brought in. Oh
Oh.
yeah. Yeah. It's a longer process, and like I said, I was lucky and thankful that I was selected. Um, I'd have been happy as a GS7 firefighter for the rest of my career, but just so worked out that I picked up GS9. So it's a rarity. There's not a lot of people that pick that position up.
Mm. Yeah, I guess it's a little different too. Now that I'm thinking, because I'm thinking about like all the like I'm in the DC area, so all the GS people I know here, it's like everyone's like, but it's also a different uh cost of living. It's like
Yeah.
crazy expensive to live out here, so like nobody could be a GS9 and fucking like live in DC.
You'd be
Pretty
living in a cardboard box.
yeah, pretty much. So it's like everyone is like 10, 11 is like the entry
Dang,
level kind of thing.
that's crazy.
But also yeah, I guess it's cost of living too. But also, I have a buddy that's 14 in Georgia. I'm like, this motherfucker is just making
Megan.
fucking bank. Like
Yeah, no doubt.
he's making DC money on a fucking what is it? Because usually, what do people say? It's like you have a champagne appetite with a Bud Light like budget, but it's like the opposite. Because he's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fucking banking down there for sure. But yeah, so I guess that makes sense. So does it change for the different firehouses? So like say so you're for your position, So you're like a GS9 captain. If you
Hmm.
were in another place, like say if it was like New York City, where cost of living is higher, does it change? They're like, oh, a captain here is going to be like a GS12 or something, or is it
No,
it's the same across the board?
you just get a cost of living increase. So each area has a different cost of living increase. I think ours is like
Yeah, yeah,
15% North
okay.
Carolina. I think you guys
What is that?
up
Cola,
yeah,
cost
you
of living
guys up in
adjustment.
that area, you get like 25%. So the only benefit is that actually goes into your retirement calculations.
Mm.
So even as a GS9 captain here, if I was a GS9 captain, say up in your area, I would retire with a higher retirement, my high three up there in your area than I would down here.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. I guess that makes sense. Yes, yes. I was thinking they gotta, account for it somehow, but it's yeah,
Yeah.
they got it
Yeah. It's
worked
not
out.
much. It's not
Yeah,
much.
I believe it. Yeah, that's something like something I tell people. I was like, I feel like teachers. Now I'm gonna like name a million people, but usually I'm like teachers and fucking like cops. I feel need to make more money.
Oh, absolutely.
But I would extend that to like any like first responder emergency services like police, firemen, EMTs and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
like
that's why that,
people doing like the like not high level but very like the closer the the threat for loss of life is really high. So it's
right.
like requires not only very technical skills, like if you're putting out fires or you're providing first aid. Um, so it's
You're
like
right.
very high level
Yeah.
technical skill, yeah, and very high threat job too. So,
Yep. Well,
but
that's why, like, this whole increase to minimum wage of $15 an hour. I mean, you got EMTs out there, even paramedics that, sometimes barely make 16 to $18 an hour. And those
oof,
guys are out there doing like no shit, bringing people back to life.
yeah, yeah,
Like, how are you going to compare somebody who's doing something with minimal skill level and just instantly bringing them up to somebody who saves lives daily?
yeah.
Crazy.
Are there private like firefighting services? Or are they all like built into the infrastructure of like the state of the government, like the local government?
So most of the time it's built into the local government or federal level, but you'll have like certain companies, big corporations, say if they have like a manufacturing center or a huge facility, they'll sometimes hire their own private fire department to staff them immediately on site.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their primary response and only response.
So
It's
yeah,
kind
kind
it's
of
a
like contractors, kind of like
kind of yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like how do we like I'm trying to think of if it's just like what do you call that? Nature of the beast symptom of like the system that since they're gonna be salaried government employees, it's never they're always gonna be underpaid, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
Because
I
like
mean,
think of like private companies that do. I'm trying to think of a good example, like even with like hospitals and stuff. I think like the private ones that make more money than well for sure military doctors, but uh yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think if there's like what would be a way to adjust that or to fix it or to address that so that people in those types of job fields are able to be compensated better.
yeah, and it's I don't know where that would exactly have to come from. That would be, and as far as the federal level, we get paid damn good money. I'm not going to complain at all.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
just because of the hours we work. I mean, we work 144 hours in 2 weeks. It's 72 hours a week, and we get paid. Uh, what is it? 30 guaranteed 36. I'm trying to do math along.
I can't.
32 hours. 32 hours. Guaranteed 32 hours of overtime every pay period.
Oh, really? Wow, wow, wow. That's
Yep.
time and a half or
Yep. And so that's where, so they have to, with our category and our specific job field that we do, we have a different pay scale compared to the regular GS9 or GS7. Um, We don't get holiday pay. We don't get second or third shift pay. We get straight pay. We get 112 hours of regular pay, and then the other 32 hours is considered overtime.
Okay.
I think it's something like that. 15.
I guess yeah. I guess it it seems
It's
like
38
yeah. It
38 hours old.
it yeah. I guess it kind of it's built into the system where it kind of works out.
So, but here's the special thing too: is they don't count our overtime towards our retirement. So we have three different pays. We have our standard GS pay, base pay. Then we have our firefighter base pay because we get paid regular hours for 53 hours a week. That's our standard. That's what our retirement is based off of. And then we have our overtime and tour pay, which is our full pay.
Okay.
So they kind of screw us in that aspect, but they have some sort of super secret formula that figures out the best way to give us a decent retirement. And we're in special categories, so we get to retire. If you're at 20 years in the special category, you can retire if you're at age 50. If you're not at age 50, you have to get to 25 years time in service. So it's crazy.
Sorry, I'm listening. I'm waiting on yeah, the what the fuck? Yeah, the little lady's supposed to be going to the doctor and her mom's gonna pick her up, but okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I never thought about that because I always like in my mind when I think about like building up time towards retirement, it's like all right, and like say it's like all right, in 20 years you can retire. I guess I'm thinking maybe it's annual or maybe I'm thinking like annual. Well, I'm thinking like all right, 20 years. That's what is it like 56 weeks 20 times or whatever, but I guess it's really they're going by the hours sort of, so it's like I don't know, it's not like Monday to Friday was 5 day or like all right, you banked 5 days towards your retirement. It goes by whatever those they're calculating it by those hours. I don't know if I'm making sense, but yeah. I guess it makes more sense the way you were explaining it to me. I just
so
never thought.
Look at it
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. They kind of look at it by pay periods. We're 144 hours, but the way our shifts work,
there you go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So like our shifts are all different. 1 week we work 2 shifts, and 1 week I work 4 shifts, and it's just the way my break days line up. And normally it would be 3 and 3. So like my old schedule at June was 24 hours on, 24 hours off, and we had a rotating break day. So we never had the same day off every single pay period. It was rotating. So like 1 week I had Monday off, so I would have like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off, and then the next week I would have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, or the next pay period. I mean, so you'd have to wait 2 weeks to get 3 days off in a row, and it was the worst schedule ever made.
That so far that's been your least favorite one to do?
Oh yeah, it is the worst.
Brutal.
Now I'm on a 48-72, so I have literally a set schedule. I work the same days every 2 weeks. I have the same days off every 2 weeks, and I work 2 days in a row, 48 hours, and then I'm off for 3 days, and that rotates. So I do 2 on 3 off, 2 on 3 off, 2 on 2 off, and then it repeats.
So, yeah, is that your favorite one so far then?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Absolutely.
So if you're able to like create your own schedule, that would be the one.
Yeah.
How much control do you have over your schedule?
Well, as a supervisor, I don't have any more control over it. If anybody wants to change it, it has to come from the GS7 firefighters, the union members. So we have a local union that represents the firefighters and ensures, obviously what unions do, equal, fair labor practices. So if they wanted a change of schedule for some reason, which I haven't met a single one of them that wants to change the schedule, they would have to propose that and then bargain it with the chief and so on and so forth.
So is how does that work with the union? So is it how does that work? I guess everyone is in it, or
everyone below supervisor, non-supervisory position is can be represented but it doesn't mean they're part of the union. They don't pay union dues. Um, so when you pay union dues, you get a little more representation. Um, but even then, even if you're a non-union paying member, you still get representation.
Hmm. So
It's weird.
what does that mean? So they kind of like advocate for the individual firefighter, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. Like they're like, someone's like, ah, I feel like I'm getting fucking cheated on hours or on pay, or I don't understand how to navigate a certain set of paperwork or something like that, or I don't know what kind
Right. Most of the
what kind of
time,
things. Yeah.
they step in during any type of disciplinary action to ensure we're not being unfair, or we're not. They kind of try and protect them from, I guess you'd say,
Getting steamrolled.
yeah, I guess is the best way to put it. Um, Basically, being over punished for something.
Mm.
Um, they just try and make it as fair as possible, and they'll work. Hey, give them a chance. Let's reduce this. You know, we don't need to go maximum penalty on this guy. You know, he's had, you know, 0 infractions in the past or whatnot. But so they kind of step in and make sure they protect the employee the best they can.
Mm.
Which, if you have a good supervisor, usually that's not an issue. Well, most 99% of things are handled at the, hey, don't do that again.
Yeah. Naughty.
So yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's it. Because I was thinking that's kind of, I don't know. Does it get kind of, I don't know, weird or sticky? Because I don't know. I'm just thinking of like the idea of having like having a union, and then in the context of a federal pay structure,
Oh, there's unions all over the
or
place.
so does that ever get kind of I don't know, like kind of because I'm thinking I was like, man, I wish like when I was a lance corporal in the Marine Corps we could have used the union because we got fucked over all the time. But so I'm thinking, but I was like,
Yeah.
obviously that wouldn't work. There's no way that would work. So then I'm thinking like also because you're in like a federal tiered kind of system. So is there friction that happens there, or is it pretty? It's just like everyone knows that it's just kind of part of the not the game, but part of the day to day kind of living and how things work.
That's how things work. I mean, we have what's called a consolidated master labor agreement, and everything from disciplinary actions to how things are supposed to work day in and day out between supervisors and employees, or employees are supposed to act, or supervisors are supposed to act, so on and so forth. That kind of um, breaks everything down Barney style for everybody to understand.
Mm, that makes sense. Huh. So I guess. Oh yeah, I guess that was the other part too. I was thinking because like my whole idea, the only thing I know about unions is from TV and from the movies. So
That's right.
like I just think like Jimmy Hoffa and fucking people protesting because I like usually like in movies and stuff the unions are always like advocating for the employees to get better pay.
Mm-hmm.
But so then I was thinking, like, how does that work in a like the federal tiered system? Since it's like the federal government puts out, it's like straight across the board, everyone GS this. So,
So they do that.
so
Um,
they're able to advocate
they
for.
are. So what happens is it has to be pushed up to either the union president or higher. If it's talking about doing, say a change of pay, or they actually bring in um, individuals to classify what you should get paid as. So if you're not careful, and this has happened in the past, that, hey, I think I deserve more pay. Let's push this up. So they bring in the adjusters, the evaluators, and they analyze everything that individual does. And if they don't justify it well enough, they could end up losing pay. So they
Hmm.
could be like, you could be in like a GS9 position. If you don't justify that you earn at least a GS9 or higher, they could say, well, you don't do this, this, and this compared to these other GS9s throughout the federal government. You're going to be a GS8 now, and you
Hmm.
just kind of screwed yourself. So it's kind of a cautious um, avenue to take, but
Right.
they still do have it.
Okay.
They,
Yeah,
they do it all the time.
that makes sense. Yeah, I guess I was thinking of like in the context of being like, oh, I make $16 an hour right now. I want to make 18, and they're like, oh hey, these guys should make. But I guess it's more like advocating for someone to increase in the steps, their GS steps or whatever. Be like, all right, yeah, like you're saying,
Yeah.
oh,
So they'll handle.
by the work that they do, they should be really be like a 9 step 11 or step whatever kind of thing, and that's what they're really advocating for is those basically promotions, I guess.
Yeah, and they'll handle so if somebody doesn't get promoted on time. Um, they'll bring that up as an issue. They'll
Mm-mm.
fight to get that employee promoted on time, get their back pay, so on and so forth. So they do handle everything um, with the employee as far as pay goes, late promotions, early promotions. They take part in a lot. Unit actually has a bigger um, foothold on everything employee relations related. Um, and I realized that more as I started wanting to become a supervisor, realizing what they had to deal with, and then especially when I became a supervisor, realizing what their power is, what they stand for, and if you can work well with the union, you can have a great relationship, and everything really ends up being for the employee anyways if you have good leaders.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. So for you, yeah, yeah, it's always an interesting, I guess, transition to see the difference between going from, uh, just like a regular employee to like any like mid-level supervisor and then management and then up and then up and up. Because like, yeah, I guess same thing. Like same example, like being at like a E3 in the military. We're always like, oh, the fucking commander's fucking this up. Sergeant should, why are they making it this? Always complain. Everything is fucking is like the worst thing ever to happen. And then you pick up
Right.
a little rank, and then become an NCO, and then you got a couple people under you, and then you're like, all right, yeah, I know this is stupid, guys, but we got to. Then like
Yep.
as you get up going, you're like, fuck, all right, now I see what the fuck they were dealing with.
Absolutely.
So it's like, no one's ever
We don't.
happy. So
No, no, we're not making you guys do bullshit work just because we got to do bullshit work. We have a mission.
right, right, right. Yeah, and I guess that's also part of it, like learning. So yeah, like when you start anything, even in like the military, or I'm sure with firefighting, when you start out, when you're entry level, your view of the world is you only know as much as you know. Which
Yeah.
I mean that sounds obvious, but like or like oh I only know all right, what is our job? I know that. All right, when they tell me to jump on the truck, I got to jump on the truck. I'll grab a hose.
Yeah.
I know all these
You
little,
understand a
I
small
know these little
aspect,
bits. Yeah, but you don't see the whole
big
big
picture.
picture of where
Yep.
oh you doing this enables this other thing to happen, and then it's also relying then bringing like the funding. All right, it costs us this much money to
Yep.
load up the whole truck, and if we're dumping water and all this kind of stuff, all the medical gear, the legal liabilities. So yeah, I think that it's always interesting to me because I don't know, I like that sounds weird. I like watching things. I like to observe systems and patterns. Uh, like even like you know what I mean, just like stupid shit like in nature, or watching ants build a hill or flicking their little thing and then they rebuild it. Or so I think it's interesting too with people, the ecosystems of people. And then I think because about myself too, a lot of it I think about as I'm getting old. You know what it is? Every year oh, and another thing too, talking about dads. So my dad, my whole time when I was a kid, it's like this fucking asshole. He is on my ass about everything all the time. Never lets up. Always telling me he's like, this is the way the world is. Blah blah blah. And my whole, I'm like, oh, what the fuck. But like,
This is
probably,
bullshit.
yeah, this is
You're
this
wrong. This is
this
not how shit works.
this wedding is horseshit. I said I wanted the salmon 3 fucking times. But
Get Catalina wine mixer.
fucking pow pow pow. But yeah, yeah. So he did that, but like I think it was like on my first deployment is when I started I was like writing him letters. Um, and I think that was like the first time that I was like, well, every year more and more I had to tell myself I was like, yep, you were right. That son of a bitch was right. So, but it's like all these things I learned more and more. I was like, all right, when I was a kid, I was pissed, but now, like looking back, I'm like, fuck, my fucking dad
Yep.
was right about that shit. So that
It's
the other thing I wanted, so I think so when we first met, I thought we met in like our sophomore year of high school, but I guess we didn't meet until our junior year.
beginning of junior year.
So I thought we were friends like for most of high school, but Did you hear a sound, or is that me?
Yeah, that was my watch.
Oh, okay. I was like, fuck. Is that my tinnitus or whatever that shit is?
Yep.
Um, but oh yeah. So yeah, we met. So we met in fuck. Do you remember?
Spanish
Yeah,
3.
AP Spanish, not just Spanish
Oh,
3.
I
AP
quickly learned that
Spanish.
I didn't know how to speak fucking Spanish when I got in that class.
Because I was coming at the class I was in before. I got an A in my Spanish class, and
Yeah,
then the only like third year Spanish was AP with Miss Tutwiler. I think was her
Tutwiler.
name.
Yep,
She was like the Spanish and the German teacher.
yep.
And do you remember she would give pity points? Like we
Yes.
would do so terrible. She would like oh and like draw a little oh face and give us points for like writing our name on there. And she'd literally write like, oh, here's some pity points. So you got a 3 out of 100. I didn't want you to feel bad and have a 0. Here's here's a 3. That's uno dos tres. Okay. But
Uh,
she didn't have an accent. I was just doing that. She
I
was a
dropped out of that class.
yeah. I was so you son of
I
a
know. I felt so bad. I was like, I'm leaving. Oh, it's like my first spread of babe when I moved here. Fuck.
yeah. And damn it, what was my point? Oh, because I was saying that's when we met. So we met in that class, and then oh, so this was the whole yeah my point. So we met then. Then I remember we were talking because I was talking about my dad like helping me with my math homework or something like that, and like I'd be doing it, and he would slap me in the back of my head, and he'd be like, "Apply yourself." He's like, "You are not applying yourself. Look at it again. Look at it again." No, 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 no. I said, "Look at it. You look at it.
Read it.
Read it. It's right. It's in front of you. It is right in front of you." Like so angry and just like I'm like,
You're not understanding?
I don't understand. He's like, "Don't lie to me. Don't. You know what it is. Give me the answer." And I was like, "I don't want to give the wrong answer because you're gonna slap me, and I don't want to like not give an answer because you're gonna slap me." It's like I can't win here. So I was telling you about it, and you're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, my dad does that too." And I was like, "Did we just become best friends?" I was like,
That's right.
I thought I was the only one, but okay." Because Marine Corps dads, it's normal.
That's when I figured out how to do my own shit. If I can't figure it out, I'm gonna fucking figure it out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, and you know that's a good point too. I think for me, I learned this word autodidact from a buddy I made, Broken Jar or Shannon from the Basic Vet. He so this word autodidactic. It's where you teach yourself things, and I was like, oh yeah, that I definitely do that. Like I DIY, like obviously I DIY stuff all the time.
That's right.
But I think that maybe that's where it comes from because like going to my dad and tell me if this was is similar for you. I never went to my dad with a problem. Like if I was going to my dad, I had a solution and or an answer or like a some sort of like plan of action. Like I
Yeah.
never went to my dad and was like, you know what, Dad, I just don't know how to do this, or I have this thing to get. I have a problem that I need you to spend time on helping me with. Like, no, I'll never do that.
Yeah.
Because it's like if he got involved,
If if I didn't understand it, I have already been through every option in my book to try and figure it out. And I was just like, last resort, I'm taking this to my dad because if anybody else can figure it out, it's him.
yeah. Oh, that's the other frustrating thing too. It's like these motherfuckers are so smart. It's like, damn it, they probably do have the answer.
Yep.
Ugh. Probably like go and cry before I go. Like get a good cry in and be like, all right, get all these tears out. Prepare.
I always take a deep breath.
Okay.
Always take a deep breath.
Good morning,
Okay.
sir.
Can we-
Your son request knowledge, sir. Uh oh man, but
It was always worse back in the day. You know what I do with my kids now? They come to me with a question.
like, ask your mom.
No, no, I don't even do that. I'm like, okay, did you read it?
Yeah,
No. Oh, okay, well then go read it and then come back.
yeah,
Then come back. All right, I read it. I still don't understand it. Okay, well let's break this down.
yeah. What is it asking you to do? What does it want
Yeah.
from you?
Yes.
I don't know. All right, well, tell me that, and then we can figure it out from there.
Yeah, I make them figure it out. God bless.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
got
yeah.
3 teenagers in the house now.
Oh
They keep
Jesus.
me busy.
I got a preteen. I can't imagine 3 teenagers. That's are they still doing? Some of the last summer they're doing There's Cirque du Soleil in the backyard.
Oh yeah,
I love flips and shit.
they they kind of moved on from the trampoline, and so this past Christmas we actually built. I built my three oldest. I helped them build a PC. So
Oh, nice.
and then they helped me this past summer, and I built like five loft beds with desks underneath, so they got like a little work area for school,
Oh,
and
sweet.
their bed is raised off the ground. It was really cool. It's fucking backbreaking work, but it was fun.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk for like 3 days after that. I was dying, and of course, my dad and I, we overbuilt the thing, so each damn loft bed is probably like 300 pounds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You could
So
put a fucking college lineman in there. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, guaranteed. I can hold a freaking elephant in that damn thing. It ain't going down. It's like I think I went through a box of 5,000 screws building five loft beds. It was ridiculous. But
It just ends up. It's all. It just ends up being all steel. You just made it out of.
yeah, if my house collapses, those will
So
not.
that's what.
Those will
Yeah.
not hold it. Those will hold the house up if it collapses.
All right. If there's a tornado, everyone get in the fucking lofts.
That's right. Yep.
Oh yeah, that'll be crazy. Like they'll come through and they'll be like the whole neighborhood will be like fucking flattened, and then it'll just be like this little loft area, and everyone's just hanging out in there. Like,
Yep.
"Mm,
That's about
all
right.
yeah, yeah." Your dad, your dad will be like, "See, you should have abused your kids when they were young, like I did, and they'd grow up to build shit like this." You know,
That's right.
That's what you get for spoiling them. Give them
Yeah, I try not to
spankings. Give
spoil
them
mine.
spankings, not iPads. You know. So
That's right.
I wish. Ugh, my daughter's so spoiled, but uh, dang, where were we at? Oh yeah, yeah, we're talking about getting beat by our fathers, and then
getting help, asking for help.
oh, so so one time, uh, after high school, when I was renting the trailer from your parents, so I lived
Yep.
in your driveway,
Yep.
and I would drive because I was when I lifeguarded on base, so I drive from there, and when I was driving down that one dirt road, and I rolled my dad's
Road
Suburban.
Bourbon. God bless.
Like looking back, I don't know how I lived through that thing. Uh, and I had no marks, literally no marks. And I remember, so I'm in it, I'm going down the road, and it starts to fishtail. And I remember thinking in my head, because I think my dad or someone had told me they're like, yeah, yeah, I love Suburbans because they're like nice wide base and they don't roll over like a lot of vehicles when they get in wrecks, they'll roll over, but Suburbans are steady. So I'm like fishtailing and I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And the back end slides and I correct it. But then like as the how the road was going, I came off the edge and it would have been fine, but there was the ditch was right there. So then the
Yeah, it
back
was a steep
tire,
hit.
yeah, caught on that ledge and it whipped that, flipped it just completely over. So I'm in it and it goes roll. And I remember thinking in my head, like, oh, good thing Suburbans don't roll. And then I go, and it's like like in a movie because it goes completely over. It's one side, it does a full 360. Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure it only rolled once. But I remember sitting in there, it rolls. I'm in there and it's like slow motion. Like I can kind of remember being in slow motion and seeing things just floating through the air like no 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 no. And then but then when it comes but then I roll all the way like full 360. So I'm back on the four tires, but I'm perpendicular to the road like that ship in the Suez Canal the other week. So
That's
I'm
right.
like across the road, but I remember since I come right side up, I'm sitting there holding the steering wheel like and I'm sitting there and in my head I'm thinking, "Oh good, I landed on all four wheels. I'll be able to drive away." That was my first or second thought. My first thought was like, "Good thing Suburbans don't roll." My second
We're good.
thought was like, "Oh, good thing I landed on the wheels. I'll be able to drive away." After I just fucking did like I don't know what I was thinking, but and thinking back to it, the windshield was gone because it had rolled. It crushed the roof down, and the roof was like touching the top of my head
Oh my
because it
god.
crushed it down. So I'm lucky I didn't like, break my neck.
Yeah.
And, oh, and it blew out blew out. It blew actually. It blew out all the windows except for mine. So the driver's side window, this one was still intact. The
Wow.
windshield gone. All the other windows blew out because it when it went when it crushed. And I had a bunch of shit in there, and that bounced all over the place. Oh, and the car was still on. It was like the engine was still going. I remember it was like, and I turned it off real quick, and I'm just sitting there like trying to like will it out of existence. Like this did not just happen. This isn't.
I can
This
drive
isn't.
away.
Yeah, I'll
We're
be able
good.
to drive away. No one
Nobody
will
will
ever
notice.
know. No one will ever know. And I'm thinking to, and so I'm looking. Oh, and I can't get out. I can't even. So I go. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta look around to see what. So I put it in park and I turn off the thing, and I unbuckle my seatbelt, and I go to get out the door, but the frame is so smushed that the door doesn't even open. So I had to like crawl out the back out one of the back windows.
God bless.
So yeah, I don't. And I got out and I'm looking at it and it's totaled. Like I'm looking at it and I was like, oh no 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 no, I'm fucked now. This is no good. And so on top of that, I'm in the middle of nowhere. This dirt road that I was going down, it's in between, like, because it's already like out in the country, out um, where they, because back then they were like kind of just developing that area, building the little housing developments. So there weren't like
Yep.
a lot of houses, and the road that I was on was super rural, and it was just like every couple hundred yards there would be a trailer down the road. So I walked down the road to the first trailer, knocked on the door. People were coming. They talked to me through the door. I was like, "Hey, can I borrow your phone?" Because I don't. Oh man, I think I had a Nokia, little those old Nokia cell phones, but I had no
And no
service.
signal out
Yeah,
there.
because I was in the middle of nowhere. So I'm knocking on the door. I was like, "Hey, I was just in a. I just had a vehicle accident. Can I borrow your phone to call somebody?" And they're like, "No, no, no," because you know it's in the middle of nowhere. So it's like some
Yep.
stranger just pops up. It's like banging on everybody there. I imagine knows everybody. So they're like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And they're like, "No, no, no. Go to the next house. Go to the next house." I was like, you know, I was like, you can just hand it out the door. I don't need to come in. I just need to make a call real quick. It's like, I'll tell you the number. You can dial it and just hand it. They're like, so sorry, we don't know you. Just go to the next house. So I do that for like two or three different houses. And like each one of them, they're like, no, 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 we don't know you. Go to the next house. So I finally get to one, and this old lady, and she seems like real incredulous. Like she doesn't believe me. Like I'm completely making it up. But I guess also I don't know how it happened. I had no marks on me. Like even the seatbelt, I didn't have bruises from the seatbelt. I have nothing on me. And so I'm talking to her, and I call your mom, and I'm like, I was just in a car wreck, and she's like, oh, and your mom is like very emotionally invested in things. So I
Oh
thought,
yeah.
because I remember like you stubbed your toe, and she's like, "Oh my god, no, my baby!" Like she would start crying. So I was like, I thought she would be like, "Oh no, what happened?" But it was like, it seemed like she couldn't have cared less. Like, because I was like, "Yeah, I was just in a car wreck." She's like, "Oh, okay," and I was like, "Yeah, like the truck doesn't drive anymore. It's I think it's gonna have to get towed." And she's like, "Oh, let me call Wes's dad." I was like,
You
"Oh,"
don't do it
she
like
was
that.
she was just like, oh, okay. So then she called him, and I was like, ah, fuck. I was
Yep.
like, damn it, I didn't want to have to talk to him because at the time too, I think he was a provost marshal, and
He was.
he was like a deputy sheriff or a
Yep.
sheriff's deputy. So I was like, gosh damn it, no, it's fuck. So I was like, I felt like I was like, now I have to admit to my, because like talking to your dad, I feel like I'm admitting to my own father that I made him a big mistake. Like, oh, I
Yep.
failed, father, I failed. And I was like, damn it, I don't want. But anyway, so he comes out, and when he shows up, he's like very professional. He's like, all right, or first he checks me. He like looks at me. He like pats me down. He's like, are you injured or anywhere? I was like, no, I don't think so. I don't. He's like, well, did you check yourself? And I was like, no. And so he just like pats me down to see if like I'm bleeding or anything. And he's like, does anything hurt and I was like, no, no, I'm good. And he's like, okay, well, all right, well, let's go look at it. So he goes and he looks at the skid marks, and he's looking. And he's like, yeah, I'd say you were going about 40 miles an hour there. I was like, no, 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 no. I was only doing like 25, maybe 30 because going down the thing. That's what I was saying. But in my head, I remember seeing the speedometer hit 41. So I was for sure going. he like nailed it. He just looked at, he like plotted it out, and he's like, yeah, it looks like you took this corner about 40 miles an hour. I'd rate it at about 30. And I was like, no, 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 no. I'm pretty, it's like speed limit, I think it's 25. So I was probably only doing like 30, maybe 35. And he's like, looking at me, he's like, no, 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 the angles don't lie. And I was just like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then,
Yes, sir.
so then we go and we look, and he's looking at it, and he's like, yeah, well, this is totaled. So then he after we look at it, and he's like, all right, well, I guess we got to call your dad. Um, and then he said, he's like, I don't remember if he called my dad first or after, but the thing that sticks out in my head is like, because then after he like patted me down for or see if I was injured, then he's like, all right, you're good, you're alive, you made it, just be happy that you're alive. And I was like, I'm a disappointment to my father, or something like that. I was like, he's like, at least you're alive, you should be happy for that. And I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know if my dad will be. And he just looked at me like I was an idiot. He's like, no, don't ever say that. He's like, you're be happy to be alive. And he's like, come here, give me a hug. And I was just like, looked at him like, I was confused. I was like, what is happening? Like, what are you gonna do to me? Yeah, I was like, all right, this is it. Chuck didn't kill me, but he's going to. Okay. And he's like, no, no, come here, give me a hug. And I like moved close to him, and I was like super awkward. I was like this, and he was like, no, no, hug, put your arms around me. And I was like that, and he's like, okay, you're good now. And I was just like, yes, sir.
That's awesome.
But it was like, it's so funny because it's like that's how my dad would have treated me. Because it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
very like sure. He's like, all right, what is the situation we're dealing with? All right, evaluate. Is everybody okay? All right, evaluate the situation. All right, evaluate the costs. Is all right, right. What do we learn from this? Good thing we're alive. All right, and then go on from there. He's like all straight to the point.
Straight fucking business.
Yeah, so it's funny. Yeah, both our dads are like exactly like that, and
I'm kind of the same, unfortunately. I picked up a lot of it, especially with my kids. I see myself a
oh
lot
yeah,
of like, all right, I'm seeing my dad in me right now. I gotta kind of loosen up a little bit. Let's get that out of there.
I do. I do all. I don't do as much now. And I keep saying that my daughter's spoiled, but it's kind of like I'm a victim of my own success in that way. Because like growing up, I hated kind of the way I was raised because they're super strict. But at the same time, looking back on it now, a lot of the things I've been able to accomplish, I feel like come from having always been. It was like every day was like a fucking literal like a struggle,
Yeah.
just because they were all nothing was ever good enough. I was always like, so I'm always like working or trying to figure out ways of not having to rely on my parents. Like I never want to have to ask them for anything.
Yeah.
So so for me, yeah, saying like with my daughter being spoiled, it's kind of like it's that balance of like, ooh, I do recognize the benefit of being like beaten growing up, but I also recognize like it. There's a lot of things that I deal with in life, uh, not in the best way because because of it. So it's kind of like that balance between like, oh, I'll spoil you, but it's like sometimes I wish I didn't care about beating you. Like I wish I could just slap the shit out of you, but I know it's like can't be doing that.
Right.
So I was like, oh, you don't know. But then I also think back too, like thinking back on my dad and when he grew up, like barefoot in fucking Texas. I'm sure he was getting his ass beat every day. He probably never got a single hug from his dad. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
the two or three hugs that I got from my dad are like a million more than he ever got. So I also look at it kind of in the context of like generationally trying to like kind of make I guess make little improvements in a way just because
Yep.
we know we have a lot more knowledge than our parents did. Just think even we have more not even my youngest sibling is like 16 years younger than me. Even the gap in technology and information from when I was a teenager to when they became a teenager. Because like
Oh man,
when we were kids,
it's crazy.
there was no social media. Nobody
No.
had cell phones in high school. Nobody had social media. Nobody had like everything that all interactions was basically like person to person.
Right.
And also, you remember writing notes? Like we were writing notes to chicks. Like that
Oh yeah.
was that was when we were like, because like nowadays people like measure their likes or who follows them. I remember in high school we'd compare like which chicks we got notes from and what they would say to, and we would try to like have chicks that we liked, and you would figure out who their friends were so that you could try to get in their circle and like either write a note directly to them or write it to one of their friends so that it gets to them kind of
Yeah, it
thing.
gets to them. Yep.
Yeah. And
That was our texting back in the day.
yeah. That's why we built darts and shot each other because that's
That's
all.
right.
But we
We're staple each other.
yeah. I forgot. Oh, I need to. I might have videos of us shooting each other with darts. I had to look. Like I have old. You remember in high? Because I used to have a video camera in high school.
Yep.
Everywhere. I used to videotape fucking everything.
Everything.
Which there's got to be some gold gems in there, but
I can only imagine.
yeah. I mean, I think it's a good thing that I was a virgin in high school because I would have had sex tapes for sure if I wasn't.
I know you would have.
Yeah,
Yeah, you would have.
I would have for sure because after
You would have probably sold them.
Mm, I don't know, open source, free. I mean, there's definitely. Oh, it's terrible. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to someone about one of my buddies. I was telling him, I was like, yeah, man, you gotta, because he's always talking about like high level political and strategic type shit. And like, yeah, man, you maybe maybe be a senator one day. That way you can keep me from going to jail or would it get me out of parking, whatever senators do for their friends. And he's like, nah, man, I'll never be senator. He's like, there's too much fucking evidence on me from when we were Lance Corporals. And I was thinking on, I was like, oh yeah, I for sure, there are for sure sex tapes of me of Lance Corporal Kobe. So, oh well, at least I was in shape back then. So, like, if there were sex tapes of me now, then that would be embarrassing. But like from back then, I could be like, yeah, look at him, look at that guy go. Oh, that's sexy, right? I used to look like that. Used to be me, but now no.
Now we're old.
Oh shit. Yeah. Sorry. How unprofesh. Oh yeah. So our like 20-year reunion thing is supposed to be coming up, right?
Yep.
Man.
20 years.
And you know what's weird? In some ways, it feels like 20 years isn't long enough, but then at the same time, it feels like holy shit, it's been 20 years.
Yep.
And oh yeah, so there's a thing, Tess. I want to figure out how we can take over the thing. I'm also trying to think. I was like, which? Well, I guess you're married now, so it doesn't matter for you, but it doesn't matter for me either because this is just fucking the regular like. Oh, I wonder what hot chicks will be there. Can I go and make up for my 4 years of virginity in high school at my 20-year reunion? Oh, that sounds so sad and lame.
God bless.
But it's like the first thing I think in my head is like, all right, which chicks could I hook up with and which dudes can I still beat up? or who can I beat up now that I couldn't then, or who can beat me up now that I couldn't back then? It's
That's
like
right.
those are like my first like series of thoughts. But because oh man, I remember, yeah, and this other thing too with writing notes. I remember in high school, like you were always fucking great at talking to girls.
I was horrible. What are you talking about?
You had like 4 girlfriends. Uh, so one of our very first times, I wrote this in my journal. I remember, fuck, I gotta go find my old journals. But one of the first, because we see it, so we had Spanish, and then we had the same lunch together. So we'd sit at the lunch table. So I remember like the first table that we established, it was like you, me, that kid with a weird name, like Kyle Galasa.
Started with an O.
It's like, oh yeah, it's like Kyle Aglopovich or something. It was like a weird.
It was weird.
It was like, oh,
He reminded
like,
me of Tom Green.
yeah. He
Yeah.
did have
and
a
he
very
was a goober, just like Tom Green was.
yeah. Yeah. Perfect. So it was like basically Tom Green in high school.
Yep.
And Marissa.
Yeah.
and like you were trying to date her, and I remember like she was like being all pissed, like I don't know what the deal. Like you were trying to date her, but oh no, you and Kyle were both. I remember you both like went on a date with her. You both went to
Yeah.
the movies, and then he got all
Kyle,
but hurt.
Kyle tried to date her before I did, and then
Yeah,
I went and dated her after,
yeah, and he got butt hurt after that. So
and he got angry,
he
and then
stopped.
he didn't talk no more.
Yeah, he stopped sitting at our table.
Yep. And then he moved to fucking New Bern. Fuck him.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Uh, oh, but yeah, I guess my point about that was saying that you well maybe I just felt that you were better at talking to females because you did talk to females at all, and I pretty much like couldn't talk
You
to
also.
any, yeah, unless they were ones that I went to church with, and any of the girls from church that I was interested in either went to a different school or were not interested in me. So uh yeah, I had a bunch of church crushes, I think. And then I've one, the one that got away that I always look back and I'm like, man, what? Because we were like friends. But anyways, I digress. That's neither here nor there. I'm talking about you, and you across the field. But what was the point of that? I had a point. I can't remember what it was. Oh, I guess maybe the high school reunion thing too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So who would you hope to see?
I don't know, really. I just want to see how everybody's doing.
Yeah. Who?
Like,
Like who?
I don't have anybody specific. Hey, I married the my secret crush from high school.
Who? Oh yeah. Oh man, what a great toast I gave, right, at your wedding. Uh,
Fuck yeah, best
I,
toast ever.
bro, I was surprised I fucking finished that without like making a complete mess of it. Whew. Oh, I was so nervous. Like I started, I had an idea of where I wanted to go with it, and I'm so glad that I was able to get there. I feel like, but I don't know. I guess I was drunk too, so maybe I didn't. But it was well intentioned. But yeah. The point of me saying that too is like it was super cool. I was basically gonna repeat the whole toast that I did or thing I said, the nice things I said. But yeah, it was cool to see. I didn't realize that you had a secret crush on her back then, but I guess it makes sense. Why wouldn't you? And then to see kind of like where y'all are at now, and then how you have your own fire. Like I remember when I came over and I saw the backpacks on the wall, like all your kids' backpacks are like lined up in a row. So like everyone has their own hooks. And I was like, damn, he runs this shit like a firehouse. What a fucking G. It's like that. I wish I ran my house like an organized unit of any sort. But uh, but anyways, I said all that to kind of compliment you, and then also to go back to who does your wife not want you to see at the reunion?
Uh, I don't know. Marissa won't be there because she was a year ahead of us.
No,
Yeah,
no. She was in our same grade. She was in
she
my
graduated.
math class.
She graduated in '01.
What? No,
Yep.
no, no, no.
Remember, she moved away. Our senior year, she wasn't even there.
Yeah, I thought she just went to a different school.
No, no, she graduated.
No,
Yep, she graduated a year ahead of us, brother.
she was in my math class. She was in
Yeah, but my wife would not want to see her, and I wouldn't want to see her either.
uh, well, I guess scratch that one off the board.
Yeah, she fucked me up. That was
Yeah.
the first
Oh, yeah. I
girl that
remember. I wrote about it in my journal because you were like being all fucking crybaby about it,
I was a little bitch about it.
and I
I'm
was
like,
like, oh well, Wes didn't sit with me at lunch today because he wanted to go cry on Marissa's shoes. I don't think a real friend would do
I
that.
was fucking pouting. I was being a little bitch.
I was being a bit. I was pouting about you pouting.
My best friend's hurt. Fuck him. I need my friendship.
She doesn't even love him. I love him. That's my brother. That's my brother. He's my pare. Okay.
That's right.
He has to come with me. He has to come with me, not that piece of balut.
I mean more. It was good, man. No, so yeah, so fuck anybody else, but I barely remember anybody from high school. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of like actually wanting to go just to see like who the fuck jogs memories in my head. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I remember this fuck face,
Yeah. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
I remember that hoe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, ah, bless.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about it too, because, but I'm also thinking like the girls that I did want to hook up with. I don't think most of them weren't in our class. I think they were either ahead or behind. I don't think there were a lot of girls in our class that I pursued at all.
Yeah, I
I
think I
don't.
tried to ask one other girl out that was actually in
Who's
our
that?
fuck. Uh, she was red haired. Her name Erin?
Oh, she was like a preppy chick, right? She was in the
Yeah.
or in that group of preppy kids that were like student council and
Yes.
they did all that shit.
So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I if I saw her picture, I'd remember. But
yeah, she tried to turn me down. I did the old note thing. I tried doing the old note writing, sweet talking thing, and I handed it to her. She's like, "Oh, you're really not."
did
Oh, crash and burn, but I was like, "Oh, well, there goes my last opportunity to fucking step out of my shell and try and meet somebody." I'm gonna keep to myself.
I don't think I got shot down by anyone, but it's also because I didn't take a shot. I don't think. Well, from our in our class. Uh, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm sure I have a multitude of embarrassing. Oh, you remember? Yeah, I guess I shouldn't say like people's whole names, but you remember she was in ROTC with us. I'll just or her first name was Ashley. I don't know if you remember Ash. Oh, there was more than one Ashley.
So was she tall?
No, no, no. The shorter. I think she's like. Yeah, yeah. She had to have a Hispanic background because her last name.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember her.
remember her? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Smoke show, right? Remember?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And even in high school, oof.
She was super reserved. She was.
I don't know about reserves, but
She wasn't really outgoing.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
kind of
you're
like a
yeah, yeah,
good
yeah.
girl.
Well, I guess in public, I guess yeah. Maybe we're talking about different ones now. Then.
We might be talking about different ones.
Oh no, not the. Was the German one named Ashley too? No, 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 no,
So
no, no. Her name was I know. Never mind. She's that was Jessica. Uh, damn. Because I don't edit these or anything, so I'm trying to do this without having. Her last name sounded like a tropical fruit.
huh. Does it rhyme with poinsettia?
Yes.
Aha!
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
is. That's her. Okay, okay,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
fucking good at this.
yeah, yeah. This is a fun game. Do you? No, I was gonna do a whole other one, but no. So her, and then because I remember, so someone came to me. Oh, so, all right. So then there's the other chick. What's her name? Oh, damn. I don't want to. This is hard. All right. So her name also started with A. Um, and her I don't want to say her first name because it's like it's not a common first name. I don't think. I don't know. Shouldn't matter. Aubrey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember her? Okay, okay.
Hold on. I'm pretty sure it's the one we're talking. It's like a really long last name.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It sounds like
Like she could stab you with her last name.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say like yeah. That's it, like
Hey, fun game. We got this.
yeah, yeah. That's the one. That's the one. So
Okay.
I was supposed to go with her like be her date, because I remember she like went through phases of like, I think like trying to date each one of us, and then
Yeah.
during her phase like where she was like pursuing me relentlessly. And I'm not saying she pursued me relentlessly because I was such a fucking dime. It was because I was such a scared little virgin that I kind of like pushed her away, like tried to keep her at distance, because I was like,
Yeah.
all right, if she comes all the way forward, I don't know what I'm gonna do with, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't even know what to do with that. So it's like, I remember there was one time I was laying on the ground and she was like sitting up, like had me in mount, was like sitting on top of me, and I was just like, I don't know what to, like I can't push her or hit
I was
her,
so nervous.
but I, yeah, but also like, so I can't like just like push her off of me, but I also am like, oh, I do like her sitting on me, but so it
That's
was like
right.
I was so awkward.
That's funny.
But so her,
High
so
school was all awkward.
oh yeah, anything involving us super awkward.
Yeah.
Damn it. So pin it. I'll come right back to this, but remind me our matching outfits that we used to make to wear, because
Yes.
we had our fucking uniform.
Hell yeah.
Don't let me. I'm gonna go right back to that to talk about awkward shit. But all right. So yeah. So Aubrey, she had asked me to be her date to like either the ball, like the JROTC ball, or to like homecoming, or to some kind of dance. And then someone came to me and was like, "Hey, Ashley, uh, Poinsettia wants to know if you will like go with her." And I was like, "Fuck, that's like my number one choice." But I already agreed, like, cause Crankshaft was like, "But like, hey, will you go? Will you go? Will you go? Do you have a date?" And I was like, I obviously didn't have a date. So I finally was just like, okay, I'll go. I have no reason to say no to you. And then after that, it was like, oh yeah, Poinsettia wants to know if you'll go, and I was like, motherfuck, god, oh, I was so sad. Um, dang, what was the point of me saying that? Oh, basically, yeah, saying I never got shot down, but I also never took any shots. So, uh, but yeah, damn, to go back with the knowledge I have now, which is good. It's a good thing I was a virgin in high school, because
We'd probably have lots of kids right now.
oh, oh man, yeah, all of them. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like 10 kids and
Yeah, we'd have fucked up.
13 baby mamas.
Oh
But
yeah. Yeah. Mm.
I don't know how that math works, but oh, so our uniforms that our matching outfit. So do you remember we used to get polos, and then we would get matching color Adidas, not even a hat, the visors.
The visors.
Yeah. I don't remember how we like decided on that or came on it, but I remember after a point, because I need to find my old pictures. Might have them around here somewhere, but I have pictures of us like there's like 4 or 5 of us standing in a row, and we all have on like a polo and a matching in an Adidas visor that matches. But most of the time we didn't wear them; we just put them around our necks
Yeah.
or wore them on our we clipped them
Belt loop.
on our belt loop. So it
Yeah.
was just like completely an accessory. Now that I'm looking back on it, I'm like, damn, that's pretty. I feel like that's pretty. I don't know, like even though it was a trend that we only set amongst like 5 people, I think that was pretty. That's. I feel like
That's
that
pretty
says
badass.
something. Yeah, yeah. Like we had our own crew where I don't even know how we came up with it, but it's like one day it was like, yeah, we're gonna wear polos and a fucking Adidas visor that we don't actually ever wear. We just either put it around our neck or we clip it on, like wear it on our belt loop. Like, also thinking about it, looking back at it, like that picture of all of us wearing polos with the oh, and we gelled our hair.
Oh, well, you know me.
Yeah,
I had them fucking
you
spikes.
spiked your shit up, and then I gelled mine into like hard curls.
Hell yeah.
But thinking about, so looking at like, so the polo shirts, the Adidas visors, the gelled hair, it's like, damn, we must have looked like future fraternity rapists
Oh
right
god.
there. It's like the fraternity rapist uniform. Thinking back, but you know, I think it was more about
I
style.
you still remember our matching prom tuxedos?
Oh yeah, the Mandarin collar.
Fuck
Those were
yeah.
pimp.
Except you
Those were
wore
fucking pimp.
the
The
white
white
one.
one,
I
yeah,
wore the
the all
black
black
one.
one, yeah. I have pictures of that too.
That was the best.
Yeah. Oh, I was just talking to one of my buddies yesterday. I did a episode with him, and we were talking about if we remember old Kodak disposable cameras because we sent
Oh my God.
his wife's birthday. I think last year they got like 10 of them or something, and left them around their house so that everyone that came could take pictures and stuff. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, they did that at my high school prom, which was brave. Because thinking about it, I was like, I wonder how many dick pics they got. And I was like, oh, I
Yeah,
know at
no
least
doubt.
one because I know Skylar for sure took a picture of his dick. um, this is how, do you remember the congratulations game?
Oh my God. Yep.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, God, dude. There was so much pain inflicted on that fucking game.
Oh man, there was so we were, yeah, we're definitely fucking like frat boys because so for people that don't know, which is everyone except for us. Oh, remind me of our other game we played too. So this one we played congratulations, where it's basically I think you just surprise attack punch someone in the balls like
Yep.
just a crotch shot and you have to say congratulations when you do it.
You gotta say
Congratulations.
congratulations.
Like where did you got that from the Leprechaun, right?
Yeah,
The
I think so. Something like that.
yeah, that movie The Leprechaun. Where you're like congratulations.
What was the quote?
Uh but yeah, so we did that. There's that game. Damn it, sorry. Trying to do 10 things at once. Um so then we do congratulations. Then do you remember the shouting game that we play when we're driving?
Hell yeah. That was that was sick.
I don't know why that one was so satisfying.
It was. We scared the shit out of Havelock.
Yeah, so how it worked is like we'd be driving along and we would just scream. I'm pretty sure this
As
is how I
loud as
remember
we
it.
could.
Yeah, we'd scream as loud as we could out the window to
Yep.
see if we could get somebody's attention. And I guess the point was like who the best, like whatever, whoever got like the best reaction, or if someone from like the farthest distance. Then we're like, oh, that one won.
Yep.
But it's like so we're just fucking driving down the road. And it's like,
Or we just fucking hit somebody. It was man. It was. I don't know what was wrong with us, but it was awesome.
I don't like right now thinking about. I don't know why that was so satisfying or fulfilling. But it was like, all right, there's one, there's one. All right, let's see if we can get him. And then people be like looking around, like, like
Most
what's
of the
going?
time, with people like trying to get in their car,
Yeah.
they're just completely unsuspecting. It was awesome.
Oh, and then the circle game. You remember the circle game?
Oh my
This
God.
one.
Get at each other. We'd be living
Uh,
to
yeah, I need to find because I remember when I was a lifeguard. So I was a lifeguard at the enlisted housing pool. So
yep.
then you would come down and hang out, and then I remember there's one other lifeguard. Fuck, I can't remember his name. Fuck. Damn, I can't remember his name, but he's a big dude though. So we all play, but then since we're lifeguarding, we play the game, but we're like, all right, we can't like be punching each other during the workday while we're patrons are around and we're
Yep.
supposed to be like watching people to keep them safe and shit. So we would save up the score. And I remember we had like all kinds of complicated shit. Like this would count for more, and if you break it, then you get their points. So we had like a whole system to it. So like by the end of the day, I remember there are some where it's like we'd have 20 punches owed at the end of the day. So like at the end
Oh
of the
yeah.
day, we'd be like, all right, line up, and you're like, all right, take your 10 and 10 or however you want them. And I remember there was like a 2 or 3 week period where I had like a permanent lump right here in my arm, like just a hard ass lump for weeks. From because I remember one because I just stand there for multiple shots while we were just punching each other as hard as we
We
could.
beat the shit out of each other.
Boo!
I still remember
I
being
was
black
like,
and blue from that shit. It was great.
yeah, it was so so much fun though. Trying to think of other.
Do
Oh,
you remember when we used to do the pass out game?
oh, yes, I
You,
do.
you remember what we did with fucking
Skylar. Oh,
Tyler?
then we so once so how it works is what do you like you like bend down, you go
Ventilate.
hyperventilate, then you cross your arms and stand up really quick, and someone grabs you from behind and squeezes you,
Squeezes you.
and then
You
you'll
pass
be like,
out.
then you pass out. Yeah, so we would do that to each other.
Skylar punched you in the nuts on your pass out the
Oh,
whole
that's
time you were
right.
passed out, and you were saying "ow, ow," and you were out, like unconscious saying it. And then when you came to, you were like, "Why does my nuts hurt?" And I was just like, "Oh my god!" So we told you secretly. I told you secretly, and then you shat in fucking Skylar's face as you passed out.
Yep.
He couldn't figure out what he tasted shit when he
He's
woke up.
I
God.
almost feel bad for him because so he was a year younger than us, but he always wanted to hang out with us.
Yeah.
And he is, I mean, he was an idiot in a lot of ways, but he was a consistent friend. Like he always wanted to hang out, and he always wanted, he's always
Yeah.
trying to like be involved and be a friend. So he's like well intentioned. Oh, and I think about it, he's a terrible cock block though. Uh, but so I remember we take him and let him come along to places. I remember like one time we went on a. Did you go on us? Excuse me. Go with us on that trip to Asheville when we drove up to Asheville because we're gonna visit that chick.
No, I did not
Oh,
go.
actually, there's the chick that was giving you the handy under the blanket.
Oh my god. Yeah, you fucking broke
No,
that girl.
no. Skylar, the cock block Skylar. He's the one that ripped the blanket off of you. I was
Yeah,
involved in the planning because like
she was
when we
she was
realized.
heartbroken. I was just like, uh oh.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, guys, like,
You got me.
oh,
That girl fucking broke down, cried, ran out of the room. What the shit?
that. I tell you, it was Skylar's fault. But I thought didn't y'all make up after that or no? It wasn't you.
I never
Oh,
saw her again. I never saw her again.
she didn't leave that night though,
No,
because we still hung out with her. Uh,
she stayed. She stayed. I think she ended up going back to bed or something like that.
mm, yeah, I thought y'all ended up like hooking up after that or something, but
Nope.
because I remember we went and we visited her because she lived in Asheville, so we like drove up there, and it was like I don't know however many hour drives, but Skylar wanted to go, and we're like, fuck it, we'll let him go. He can help pay for gas, and because we drove up there, and there was like a abandoned. So I guess it was like a old like a mental health institute or whatever. But for us, we're like, oh, it's an abandoned asylum. Like it's gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah.
hot. So we tried to like sneak into the building and like videotape it. Uh, but we didn't. We tried to get in. I remember we had a videotape. Man, I gotta find all these old videotapes because I feel like we were like taping, and I remember to us we said we're like, oh, dude, look, like I saw a face. Like I was recording, I looked in the window and there's a face. Did you see that face when we were looking in there? Like, I'm pretty sure we're like, no, look at the shape in the. It's a face, man. Like I remember we did that, but
Oh, Blair Witch stuff.
yeah. Exactly. We were trying to recreate that. But anyways, I guess the points of saying that was we brought Skylar along because he helped pay for gas, and then also he was a cock block all the time. Like if there was ever a chance to like stop somebody else from hooking up, he was like first in line to do it. But then he was also first in line to try to like hook up with every fucking chick too, because
Oh yeah,
he was like super proud of his dick.
yeah.
Uh, yeah. Can't remember more to that, but yeah, I remember he actually so he enlisted in the Marine Corps. Then
Yep.
he went and got stationed at Cherry Point.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Ugh. I mean, I guess I get it because he's like, well, all my friends are here, so now I'll get to come back and I'll be a Marine, so I'll be cool. I'll be back home and I'll be cool.
That's exactly what he thought.
You know what's also weird because his dad was like a master sergeant in the air wing, and or I guess it was his stepdad, but he went to the air wing too. So it's like he came back, and I'm not sure if he ended up in his dad's command or not, but I mean, that would have been such a weird thing. Like I would have, yeah, I don't know, but
No way.
who knows
I
what?
couldn't do it.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, could you imagine if you were like a PMO and then they're like, all right, you can.
No, my dad would have been even harder on me. I was like,
Yeah, you know,
dude,
you're like, I'm gonna go to whichever fucking region he's not in.
yeah,
Oh man, yeah, yeah, that would
I love my dad to death, but there ain't no way I would have worked under him.
no, yeah, because it was like, this is the thing I've told people too. Like growing up, I always felt like my dad was my commanding officer, and like less of a dad and more of a commanding officer. So I can only imagine, because for sure, either one of them, if they had us in their command, everything that we would do, they would automatically in their head be like, "Oh, this reflects on me." So, well, I can't appear to have a favorite, and I also can't allow them to be a piece of shit. So,
Right. But I take that with me everywhere, even in my like every career choice I chose. I was like, well, I don't want to fuck up here. It's probably just going to reflect on my dad in some way. And I'm like, well, that's a good driving force for me to want to fucking do well everywhere. So I think he instilled that in me from being a little one, and I've never forgot it. Even now, I'm still like, if I fuck up, how is my dad gonna hear about this?
oh no, daddy's going to hear.
Yeah, but
Daddy's
now
going to bit me.
he's much more chill now, man. He's fucking so laid back now. I talk to
Yeah,
him about it now. It's so easy.
yeah, it's
Completely different from when we were fucking kids.
yeah, same thing with my dad. And the weird thing is, he doesn't remember. It's because he'll like say to all of us kids, like he's like, "Well, how come y'all don't like come to me and talk to me about these personal things, or you should utilize me more. I have a lot of experience and blah blah blah." I was like, I feel like I'm really open and willing to hear y'all out. And I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, where did this guy come? Like, do you not? Do you?
He probably retired and it changed him like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So it's like, yeah. After he retired, he's like, oh, I guess I don't have to take things as seriously as I thought I did.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything isn't as big of a deal as I thought it was.
Right.
So now, like, and I laughed too because I told him, I was like, Dad, none of your children think that at any point in your life you are open minded and willing to listen to us about anything. That's like not a
The
single
sure way
one.
I will.
There's like five of us, and not a single one of us would ever say, you know what, I'm having trouble here. I think I'm gonna run this by my dad. He's usually very accepting of challenges and problems. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He loves to have problems brought to him and told about and have deficiencies displayed in front of him. He loves that. He would cherish that time. None of us ever fucking thought anything close to that. Get out of here. And he's like, "What? I loved you." And we're like, we believe it. We know that you loved us and love us, but I don't think we felt that you loved us. It's like we knew in our heads, like conceptually, you had this love for us, but I don't think we ever felt it.
It never made me want to come out and say, "Here's all my feelings
Yeah, no,
that I bottled up
the most
and I
opposite.
didn't know
Like,
what to do with."
yeah, it's like, ooh, I don't know what this is. Better push it down. Better fucking
Yeah,
stuff
let's just
that.
keep that in there.
Yep.
I'll figure it out fucking later when I'm in
Yeah.
my 20s, maybe 30s. When I'm going through my midlife crisis. It'll all come out then.
I'll never have to worry about this. Mm.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah. So I couldn't imagine being like an actual employee at that point.
No, no.
So I don't know, but it's also a thing. So like I said, I take from both. Like I recognize how growing up like that kind of has given me or kind of like forced me to have the drive for the things that I do, and also like this fear of this shame for failure. So I'm
Right.
like always driven to like I never feel
Not
like
fail.
I never feel like I've done enough. I never feel like I've accomplished any, like it doesn't matter what I do, and I'm always like, yeah, well, I guess I could have done more, done it better. Some So I guess there's the benefit of pushing from that. But then also like one of my fears is that I'm gonna like with my however many kids I end up having is that I never want to feel like they would be too afraid or embarrassed to come talk to me about anything. Like I'd rather them, and I guess this is like an idealistic way to look at it, or to say who knows how it'll actually play out. But the way I'm thinking about it, would like for like my kids to be like about anything, you know what I mean, like sex or drugs or violent, like whatever kind of shit there is in the world, or bullying or
Right.
cyberbullying, all that stupid shit. Any of that stuff, I want them to feel like they could come and talk to me about it. Like
No
with
matter
my,
what,
yeah, no matter what, even if it was
without
like,
fear,
yeah,
nothing.
like I'd rather them to be like, oh, my friends are pressuring me to fucking like do this or do that, or I don't know about this, I don't kind of thing. I'd rather, I guess, them feel comfortable coming to me with that stuff than that wanting them to like, then rather than thinking that I can make them so afraid that they'll never like experience things kind of thing, which is I feel like was like our parents thought. They're like, all right, well, if I just have like an iron fist, I will be able to control the life experiences of my kids. It's like they'll never have to deal with any of these like problems or things because
Issues, right?
yeah, I have so much. I've instilled so much discipline and fear into them that they'll just stay away from it, which is not how the world works. Because it's like even if you plan for not dealing with those things, sometimes shit just pops up, and if you're
It's
like
just
not,
gonna happen.
yeah, if you're not prepared for it or you have no idea, it's kind of like those parents that don't let their kids go to health class. They sign
Yeah,
them out of it. They're like, oh well, if they don't go to health class, then they won't learn about sex. So then that means they won't have sex. It's like, no, no, no. It just means they're gonna have,
they're gonna figure it out.
yeah, they're gonna have like teenager sex. Like they're gonna
Yeah, yeah.
just do shit that they have no idea about, or that they then they get like feel shameful for, and blah blah blah, etc. That kind of thing. Uh oh.
Yep. Yeah, we do the same thing with our kids. We several years ago we started implementing family talks because with a blended family it was more difficult sometimes getting them to get along, and they weren't, like you could tell, hey, her kids were close, my kids were close, but they weren't close, and it took some time for us to develop that closeness between all of them, and some of them clicked, but they didn't know how to talk about their feelings without trying or feeling like they were going to hurt each other's feelings.
Right,
And
right.
then of course, the kids are, they're not scared to come to me. They're a little apprehensive at times because I am big scary dad, and I am pretty strict.
Yeah.
And we started implementing like family talks, um, where we told them we don't care what you say, we want you to say it, get it out, and then we can talk about it with no judgment, not being angry, not being mad, not being disappointed. I said,
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
said just talk about it, and that helped. That helped all of them develop their feelings a little more and try and figure out, hey, okay, well, this is a problem. I can't just keep it down and stuff it down and let it out in angry bursts, of name calling or acting like an ass towards each other. So it's been good, and I think they understand it now. Mom and dad are not like, uh, we're gonna fucking kill you if you fuck up.
Yeah. Did you ever feel like you were gonna get in trouble for your what you were thinking? Did you ever feel like you were like at home and you're like, oh fuck, my dad's gonna know exactly what I'm thinking and I'm in trouble now? Did you
I
ever?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I had those. Like I should not say this because I know if I do, I'm gonna be in trouble
Yeah.
type thing. Yeah, I shouldn't be thinking this. Yeah,
Yeah. Don't think it. You might say it out loud. He might read your mind. He might be. Yeah.
yeah,
Like I always like, a weird thing too. And I'm trying. I thought about it before, and I'm trying to figure out. All right. What am I trying to say? Well, I'll explain the situation and then from there. So I remember because of that, like growing up, because my dad would always like if we were driving in the car. So like again, this is back in the day. Nobody had like personal electronics and shit. So it's like when you're in the car, it's like you're there with everybody. Or I remember I would look out the window and imagine that I was in a small craft flying along the road, shooting down like bugs and birds and shit. So it's like we're in the car, so we have a lot of time, and he would always ask me like he had a couple questions. He'd be like, "Oh, what are you thinking about?" Because I'd be like staring out the window, and sometimes, a lot of times, like I said, I'd be thinking about just weird shit. Like, what if I was a miniature man? Would I be able to fly in the back of a bee? Like that. Could I eat his would they share their honey with me? Could I eat pollen, or could I turn that into, like, I would just be thinking stupid shit like that. Or I would
Yeah.
be thinking, regular teenage boy shit, like, I wonder what a girl's bra looks like. I wonder, like, does their underwear feel the same? Like, does their body feel funny like me? Like, like, oh, just weird shit. So I'd be looking out the window thinking that, and so he would like quiz me, like, real, he'd see I'm deep in thought, and also because at the time he didn't foster that, like, open. I guess he thought he was, but he didn't really encourage. Like, if I couldn't just be like, "Hey, Dad, I have these weird random thoughts. What do you think about this?" He'd be like, "Oh, I think that's stupid. It's a waste of time. Think about school and about your future." That would be his answer. You know what I mean? So I never,
Yeah.
like, came to him with, like, my just weird thoughts. But
Yeah.
looking back on it, I feel like he wanted that connection. Like, he felt like he wanted to know what my thoughts were, but he had no idea what they were. So he he had his own idea about it. But either way, he was trying to make that connection. So
Right.
he would ask me those questions. But in my head, I knew I can't tell him what I'm really thinking. So I started preparing in my own mind. Like, I'd always have three uh, lines of thought going at one time. So I'd be whatever the thing is that I'm, like, letting my mind wander on, like, about if I can fucking be the bee king. And then I'd also have, like, a backup, like something that he knew about, because I'd always used to like to try to, like, write scripts, or I remember one time I was trying to build, like, a lightsaber out of because I had this clear uh fiberglass thing. So I was, like, trying to build a lightsaber. So in my head, I was like, all right, I'm gonna be thinking whatever it is, my free thoughts, whatever I'm thinking. Then I'll have this backup of the lightsaber, and then I'll have a third backup of something. And it would always, before I got in the car with him or whenever I was around him, I would tell myself, all right, and then I have my tertiary thought of something that related to something that he had just been talking to me about. So
Yeah.
every time I was with my dad, I always had at least three lines of thought going on, because I had,
Wow.
like, whatever was my own thoughts, and then I have the two backups in case he was like, "Oh, what are you thinking about?" "Oh, I was thinking about that lightsaber that I was building." He's like, "Oh, really? Well, it looked like you were really deep in thought about something else." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I was thinking about how you were just talking to me about improving my mile run time, and like." So I was I always had to be prepared. Sorry, my phone's going crazy, but um, oh yeah, I guess you have a time limit. We can wrap it up here in a second.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah. So that's how my mind worked. Oh, and then so I try to also think about how I apply that, like, now, because I feel like some of my, I don't know, maybe also because, like, I have, like, ADD. I guess I've been diagnosed with ADD. I wonder if that was a part of it too, like, constantly, like, forcing myself to be three people or three thoughts at one time. I don't know. I guess I should talk to a counselor or something like that. But anyways, no, but oh yeah, going back to, no, I think that's pretty awesome. That's interesting because you have, is what the techno is, a blended family. Is that the technical term? Like,
Yeah.
you Brady bunched
Brady
it.
Bunch did. Yep.
Yeah, but that's cool to see. And that's the other thing. I think going back to, like, when the first time I came to your house and I saw the um backpacks lined up, and I was like, oh yeah, this motherfucker's got this shit locked down. Like, so it's cool to see, like, I guess how you, and even, like, when I was there in person, like y'all have your routine, like, everyone gets all their shit done, and then, like, you go outside and sit in the porch to wind down at the end of the day, and, like, kids will, like, do their fucking acrobatics and shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's cool to me it's cool to me when I see grown-ups that have their shit together. So, and it's also cool to see, like, you, because I remember when we were kids, we swore, we're like, when we grow up, we're gonna beat our children. We literally said we're gonna beat the shit out of our children,
Yep.
and they're never gonna. And we had a whole list of, they'll never be allowed to do this, they'll never do that, they can't say this, they can't do that, kind of thing. So it's cool to me to, like, see that change of, like, your actual practical application of, like, growing up into, like, a real person that's not the ones that we thought we were going to be when we were kids, and, like,
Right.
now you're like, no, I am interested in seeing them actually develop and
Yeah.
grow to be their own people, but also within my accountability of having to provide and teach them how to be fucking, like, functional people as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's pretty cool to see. Um,
It's fun. It's been a fun process, and God knows I'm hitting teenage years, so there's going to be even more to learn here
you
soon.
go. Ugh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mine's right on the cusp of that.
Yeah,
She already thinks she's 16, but
it's fun.
yeah, yeah. It's
It's crazy to think that we're here at this point, though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember I didn't think I was gonna live past 35, and until I was like, I think like 28 or even maybe 32. I think for some reason 20, the number 20, the age 28 sticks out in my head. But for my whole life, I didn't. I was like, I'm never gonna live past 35 until I was like 28. Um, so then it kind of like changed because I think I had my daughter when I was 25, I think. So I'd had it. She was like 3 years or so.
Yeah,
Maybe that has something to do with it too, because like after I had a kid, and then I was like, well, shit, I better live for more than like 10 more years. So,
yeah, no doubt.
so yeah, it's crazy how, yeah, just the like series of not series of lives, or I guess like the different, because in our, I feel like in our own minds we're the same person always, but if we're
Right.
looking back on it, we're we're never the same person, because like I'm not the same person I was like 10 minutes ago. Like we're always kind of growing and adjusting. We're always like bumping
Yep.
into things that are changing our avenues of approach as we go along.
Yep.
But yeah, yeah, I felt like there was something else that I wanted to ask. Oh, if we go to the reunion, is there anyone? Did we have beef with anyone back in high school that we could hope to beat up now?
If I did, I don't remember him. I'll probably know when I see him, though.
Yeah, yeah, maybe we will. But I guess also it was 20 years ago, so maybe we're like, oh, I guess why should I worry about that kid that fucking stepped on my shoe 20 years ago? So,
Yeah.
but I don't. I think we got along with a lot of different people, a lot of different groups. I think we had friends in uh like a lot of different echelons of the high school social strata, whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder if all our teachers are dead.
Nope. So, you remember Miss Boudet?
Ooh, that name sounds familiar because I feel like we said booty.
Yeah. Miss Boudet. She was a
Which one
math
was
teacher.
she?
Super short. She was super short, blonde haired, and she taught
Which
math.
which math?
Um, algebra 2.
Which
She taught algebra 1 as well.
I kind of remember, but what about her? She's
She
still
lived down
alive.
the street from me.
Oh,
It's funny. I saw her walking down the road one day. And I was like, "Are you Miss Boudet?" She was like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, dang, I had you in math class." They're 9/11. Oh
oh,
my God.
I
She's
for,
like, "Yeah,
I forgot we were, yeah, because that happened our senior year,
yeah."
and I was in Captain RG. He's definitely got to be dead by now because he was a foot in the
See
grave
him
back.
every once in a while in Walmart,
Captain,
wheelchair down, bro.
he's
I think
still alive.
I think his
Holy.
knees finally gave up on him.
One time I think it was me and Skylar. We were driving. We were coming from Newbern, headed back to Havelock, and we saw this car pull off in front of us. It was like, it like was driving erratic. Then it
Yeah.
pulled over to the side, and this dude gets out. I can't remember how it happened, but it's Captain RG and his son,
Yeah, his son
and
was
they
really,
got, and his son was huge. He was big as
yeah,
fuck. So he
yeah, he's
gets
a
out,
big
and
boy.
I go, oh shit, that's Captain RG, and I'm driving past, so I slow down because they're like yelling at each other, and then I think his son, I didn't see, oh, because Captain his face was bleeding,
Yeah,
and then I saw the kid, his son, he like, I saw him like chunk. He had the keys. So I guess they had been like re- wrestling over the steering wheel, whatever, and he like hit him. So then he took the keys and then chucked the keys. And I was driving by slowly, and I saw Captain Margie, and I was like, oh shit. So I was like I should stop, But like as I slow down to cruise past, his son turns around, looks me right in my eye, and he goes, "I will fucking kill you!" And he goes like this, and he pushes my car, and he goes like that.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh, yep, little bit of gas. It's like, go for it.
Sorry, Captain RGC.
Sorry, sir. But I was like, because this dude, he was big, like he was
He's a big kid.
big, and so like back then I was probably, what do you think, like 150 pounds maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I was 145 when I graduated, and you were a little bigger than me.
Oh,
So
so yeah, yeah. So I was
probably,
yeah, right around 150. This kid, he's over two. He,
oh,
he's
dude, yeah, I've
he's
seen
probably
his
he's
son. His son was
yeah,
a huge kid,
he is big. Cause I remember
or not
Cap.
big, but he was
No,
fucking built.
jacked. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
just stock. I'm telling.
but Captain RG
He
was
turned around
small.
when he. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because Cap Margie was like over 6 feet tall. He used
Oh
to
yeah,
play. He played rugby when he was in the Navy, and
yeah,
so back in the day, he was a fucking beast too.
he was a hoss.
But his
Yeah,
like I remember because he turned around and he goes like, and I don't remember if he said I'll kill you, but I for sure in my head thought he's gonna kill me.
he's good.
And
Yeah,
and then he just he didn't even like it wasn't even like a running start because I was just rolling past because he turns around and he just goes and he's like this arm's lengths away and he just goes like that and he just go like I sitting in the car is like and I was like like so I drove down. I like made the block. I came back around because his son then like took off across the highway, and
yeah.
I circled back around. And came back and I was like, hey sir, do you need a ride?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, I gotta go get my spare keys." So it was like super awkward. Like I gave him a ride to his house, and I brought him back to the car, dropped him off, and he was just like, I was like, do you need anything else, sir?" And he's like, "No, no, I'm good now." I was like, "Oh, okay, sir." So then I started driving. Oh, and then his son was still yelling. I do remember that because his son was yelling. He's like, "Do not fucking help him! Do not fucking help him!" And
Oh my God.
I was like, "Am I gonna be in trouble?" And he's like, he's like, "Don't worry about it." He's like, "You can go. Don't worry about it. Just you can leave." And I was like, "Thank God."
God dang.
I was like, "I would have stayed, but I'm so glad he told me I could leave."
Yep.
Damn, I thought he would have. Uh, for Sergeant Wilson, I wonder if he's still around.
I-
He's got to
he-
be.
Hey man, I don't know where he is.
He last I heard, he like moved out to Harlow and like built a house or something.
Did he?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't see him around at all.
I mean he was a cool
Yeah,
motherfucker too. That was such a cool class. Like I remember,
dude, he was one of my best teachers.
he
He was
is
awesome.
my favorite, my of all time. He's like the
Yeah.
teacher that I remember. Ooh, were there any teachers that you wanted to bang? Remember back in the day, like there's all these teachers banging high school students. None of mine ever fucking went
We
for it.
had any good looking teachers at all.
There was one
I throughout my
Spanish.
school career, like none
Oh, ever in school
ever.
ever. Remember we had that one teacher that they said she like stripped at the you remember that the strip club across the literally across the street from the high school? It was like the
Olivia's.
Cherry. I thought it was, oh no, because it was like the old porn store that shut down. It was called Cherry
Oh yeah,
something.
yeah,
And then next to that was the strip club Olivia's or whatever. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I guess yeah, because there's one of our teachers that people said that
She worked there.
she worked there, yeah.
Hey,
But I don't really remember much about her, but yeah, I'm trying to think now that I think about it, I guess oh yeah, I guess we're gonna have like hot teachers. There was a couple that I remember there's one, she had like buck and she taught Spanish, I think. I think she taught like like one of the first Spanish years. She wasn't my teacher. Um but I remember she was like, you know, a woody. She was married to like some like Marine, but she was like this, and who knows how old she was back then because I was in high school. I don't know. She could have been 50. She could have been 20.
yeah,
I couldn't know. But I just remember she had like fucking curves. I just remember, oh, look at that. I
I don't
didn't
remember.
I didn't know. The funny thing too is like even back then, I obviously I had no idea what to do with a woman's body. Like, but I knew that I liked curves for some reason. I was like, oh yeah, that's good. But like thinking back, like I can think in my head now, like, oh, what would I do to that? Like that kind of shit. But back then, it's like, ooh, yeah, I like just looking at that for some
That's
reason.
nice.
Yeah, I don't know why it's nice, but I know it's nice. Yeah, like
Yep. Oh, the
I don't
innocent, the
the
innocence.
I remember the first time I saw on the internet. I saw yeah, the first time I saw a vagina on the internet. But this was back in the like dial-up days when remember you have to like dial up. It's like
Oh yeah,
meh,
whole fucking AOL dial-up
yeah,
shit.
and then whenever you look at pictures, it loads like this. It's like meh, 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 meh. So it's like
Yep.
little by little the picture
Yep.
like develops. So it's like so you're like watching one load. And you're like
We're waiting.
it's like 5 minutes to look at one JPEG, or
Yep.
I think that maybe they're bitmaps back then, and then you remember floppy disk too. So
Oh my
anyways,
god.
the first time, so it was a woman's ass so she's bent over. It's a close up on her bent up ass cheeks, but you can see the that three finger gap in her lips, her labia majora, and or yeah. So her, but I couldn't. Obviously, I'd never seen one before, and
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, but all I see is the two humps where the lips come together, and she had like a like a any vagine where it's just like a
Yeah.
perfect the perfect
Yep.
just like two little two little cheeks, two little pillows, and but you couldn't you don't see any the
Yep.
labia minora, you don't see any of that because it's just like perfect little pack just.
Right.
And I'm looking at it and I'm like, are those nuts? I was like, am I looking at a dude's nuts from the back? Like I couldn't tell because I had
The
never
fucking
seen one.
goat.
I didn't know what it was. I was just like, that's not what I imagined of like in my picture. Whenever I see people scribble doodles of vaginas, it's like a V with a line in the middle. I was like, am I looking at a dude's nuts? Like that sticks out in my head.
Fucking innocence, man.
Oh yeah. So yeah, even if any of the teachers had decided to molest me, I wouldn't. Well, I guess that's also part of it. They would have told me what to do. I wouldn't have to think it out. But
Yeah.
I feel like there was at least one fucking super hot teacher. Oh, damn. Oh, 9/11. So you were in math class. Think about this too. There are people. That was 2001, right?
Yep.
Oh, feels like it was longer ago. But anyways, there's yeah, there's but I guess either way, there are almost people old enough to drink now that weren't around for that.
Weren't even alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you how old we're getting.
Yeah. So for you when it happened, so how did it play out for you? So you were in Miss Boudet's class?
Miss Boudet's, yeah. I remember I think Miss Boudet had gotten a message or something like that, or like the intercom came on to turn on the news. Everybody turned on the news in the classrooms, and we started watching all the planes, like the replayed footage of the first plane going into the Twin Towers, and I was just like, "Oh, we're about to go to fucking war." And
Yeah.
that's all I could think of was like, "Fuck, my dad's about to go to war. Uh, I don't want him to die in a war."
Was your dad in Desert Shield, Desert Storm? Wait. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
he
the one
was. He
before.
was in Mogadishu.
Oh, okay. Uh,
He was in Mogadishu, so but I had heard a couple of stories of him being in Mogadishu that was pretty insane. So I was like, oh fuck.
oh yeah. He brought you the club, the Somali club
Yeah,
for
man,
beating
that was the
kids.
coolest fucking club ever.
Actually, I'm not gonna say what we did with it because I feel like we could probably get in trouble for that now. But
Yeah, well,
remember,
it's broke now.
oh wow, how did you do that? What'd you hit?
I didn't do it.
What did your kids hit with it?
One of my kids. It was
What
my
did your
ex.
wife hit with? Oh
She broke it.
no! But
Yeah, I was pissed.
in my
We got some
defense,
good memories with that thing though.
I did tell you you didn't need to marry her, but
You did.
But I also did. Oh, yeah. There's a whole lot of levels to it. Also, I'm looking back on it too, thinking about it. I'm like, fuck. Wes must have really like loved and trusted me as a friend, because I remember when I came and I lived with y'all. I was living in your house. So then, and there was a period when you would go to work and I wasn't working, or I had a different schedule than you. So I was like,
Yeah,
I was at home with your wife all day long, pretty much.
yeah,
And like looking back on how things turned out with her and the other stuff, like looking back on it, like I don't, because to me, I was like, I wasn't married, I was completely single. Like I was like, didn't it, like I didn't have that like accountability or responsibility of a partner in my head about it. So I wasn't seeing it from your point of view, but it was like,
yeah.
so I stayed. It was kind of like, yeah, it's like you, not only you like allowed me to come and live with you, and you trusted me to stay at home, like, and hang out with your wife like all day, which doesn't seem like, oh, of course, why wouldn't that be, why would that be weird? But like looking back on it, and even now, like, because as I got older too, and this is kind of like a southern, I think a southern culture thing. Like growing up in my house, like married women didn't stay alone, like in a house or a room with another man, sort of thing.
Right.
So like looking back on it, yeah, yeah. I guess I'm saying all of that to say that thanks for like letting me come and live with you, and then also like I'm thinking about it too. Like fuck, man, Wes must have really, he must have liked me. He must like, we must actually be friends, I guess.
Oh yeah, we were, but we still are.
But oh,
No
good.
matter how much time goes by.
Yeah, I think it's funny too because it's probably been a couple years since we like actually like talked. Like we text every once in a while, but I think
Yes.
like it's funny. Yeah, whenever we like we'll go years without like really having real like full conversations, but then when we
Yeah.
do, it's kind of like it's just like here when we started, I was just like, oh look, it's my friend, and then we just it's kind of, it's like no time has
We
passed, and we
pick
just talk.
right up, bud.
Yeah,
We pick right up every time.
yeah.
Forever will that be? We'll be fucking 70 years old calling each other still. Fucking FaceTime each other. Oi,
Wait,
my
pare.
friend.
Wait, pare. What you eat there? What's that you got?
What
You
are
see
you
that?
wear?
You're not small. You're not
You're,
medium.
you're husky.
You're a husky boy. Man,
Always.
I wish Rex Neverete like fucking blew up. Cause like
I know.
I watch do you watch Joe Coy, the comedian Joe Coy?
No.
Oh
Is he good?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And cause his mom is Philip. Is he mixed? Either way, I think he might be. I think his mom is Filipino, or his mom is Filipino for sure. Um, and so, but either way, so he's Filipino, and like a lot of his act is talking about like kind of like Filipino, like being a Phil Lamb in America, and like a lot of his stories are about his mom being like Joseph, Joseph, come here. What are you doing? Like just like stories about his mom. So I'm like, I can relate, but he's funny. He's funny for sure. Oh, I guess the point of me saying that was I was hoping that he would like Rex Neverete would be able to blow up like him. That dude was,
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess. Oh shit, I meant to cut off earlier, but I don't know. Is there other stuff? What did stuff we didn't talk about that I was gonna say, or anything that you want to say, or ask or
Oh,
do, or I don't know
I don't think so.
before we. Cause I got
This
yeah,
is
I got to cut off. I got to go back to
my first podcast.
real work. Yeah, yeah. Podcast. Yeah.
First podcast. My kids are
Uh,
all excited. Like, oh, you're doing a podcast? I was like, I'm getting on a Zoom with my best friend. So,
yeah.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a funny thing too. Is for me, like doing this has been like a series of changes and stuff. And I'm an introvert, but I don't know. I have kind of a curious mind. I feel like, and I like, and I feel like I've always known like really interesting people, and I don't know. I like people that I like having conversations with. So so far I've been able to like talk to people that I'm excited to talk to, and it's interesting to me at least. So,
Yeah.
but I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I learned a lot about the all the firefighter stuff. Um, Maybe I'll get a picture of Stipe Miocic to send to you so you can put it in your firehouse.
Yeah, I need to make a shrine.
And yeah, I need to get down to visit sometime. I guess stuff is opening up. I guess I think I'm gonna give in and get a vaccination.
Are you really?
I think so because it's so. My plan was just to resist it and then hopefully catch it, and then that way then I
Get
collect the
antibody.
antibodies by
Yeah.
myself. But yeah, I was talking to a buddy yesterday, and he was like, "Well, it's like the same as a flu shot. We we got those every year in the military." I
I
was
don't
like,
do those either.
yeah,
Those are the two vaccines I will not get. COVID, if it's not like one of those, hey, you have a series and then you're done, you're good for the rest of your life. Nah, I'm not going to take it. Like the flu
oh,
is,
the inoculation, yeah,
yeah, the flu is. There's so many strains, and I believe COVID is heading in that direction, developing more strains,
yeah.
and the vaccine's only good for 2 months. I don't
Wait,
think
wait,
it.
wait, wait. Is that true?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah. It says you're only immune to it. You could still get it. You're only immune to it for like 2 months.
What?
Look into it. Yeah.
Ugh. What's the point then?
Well, it's like the flu. I mean, shit. You can still get the flu even though you get the flu vaccine. It just reduces its symptoms. And
Right.
if you're a healthy individual, you're good.
Yeah.
Unless you have some unknown underlying condition that you're gonna fucking die in the next couple of weeks from it, anyways.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. That seems crazy though. That what? It almost feels like what's even the point if it's only good for 2 months?
yeah. And that's once you've had your second. So like, you have your first, your body is learning. Okay, if you don't have the second one, it doesn't finish it, doesn't completely inoculate you, and then it doesn't matter. You can still get it.
Mm. Damn. Yeah, because so I've been, or I guess I'm gonna say reading a book. I audio booked, but I'm gonna say reading because it's easier. So I was reading this book called Code Breakers,
Yeah.
and it basically goes through the history of the scientists that found like the development of the CRISPR, for doing DNA sequencing and
Yeah.
genome treatment and stuff like that. So they go through all of that, and then at the end of the book, they go through talking about COVID. So in like that book, they're talking about the different kind of methods that they used, like using CRISPR, I guess, to like chop up different series of protein. I don't know. It's real scientific, but so it's basically making it so that it's creating a thing where you're so it's telling your body to so it's basically it's changing the DNA of your body.
Right, but that's not what the COVID does.
I thought there's one of the vaccinations that that is that type. I have to read it again, but
So, from my understanding, that with the vaccination, you're dealing with um, it has a protein. COVID actually has a protein attached to it, which is what allows it to affect your body. So
oh, it's got
it's
that little horn. I've seen
kind of
a
yeah,
picture of it. Yeah.
yeah. So then what they've developed is basically a way for your body. They take that protein and they've made a way for your body to fight it. And you're building antibodies to that protein. If it defeats that protein, it breaks COVID down and it lessens its effect on your body or some shit like that. I don't know. Basically, giving your body a cheat code to break it down.
Right.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, I have to go back and look at if it's only good for 2 months, and I don't feel like there's any point in getting it.
Yeah, there's no point. At least I don't feel there is.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't even do the flu anymore, and I've stopped doing that for like the last 3 years, and I haven't gotten the flu in 3 years. Every time I got the flu shot, I got the flu.
Yeah, I feel like that was my experience as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, I pretty like the last, yeah, same thing. Like last Let's see, I've been out for like 4 years. See, I think like the last 2 or 3, I haven't gotten the flu shot.
Yeah, it's crazy. You think about it. And I stopped giving it to my kids, and they stopped getting it too.
Mm.
And I'm not big. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I believe in all the other vaccinations, absolutely. But
Yeah.
the one you can't guess the strain. It's a 40 to 60% chance that they're gonna. Hey, I guessed the right one this year.
Right.
I'm gonna fucking inject this in you anyways.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
Do
Thanks.
kids don't get chickenpox anymore, right?
No.
Isn't that crazy? You remember when we were kids, like every lice and chickenpox. Every
Yeah.
year there was like lice season, and remember when the nurse would come in and check everybody's heads for lice? It
Yep.
was like a fucking scalp massage. I just remember I'd be like,
They have that.
felt
They
so
have your
good.
comb, and they'd be
Yeah,
combing.
yeah. There's like, it's like, did you? Are you sure you got them all? You got keep looking, because it was like I remember it's so soothing. I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go to sleep.
Yep.
My sister used to catch it every year because she had long hair, and I always
Yeah.
had like short, super curly hair, so they didn't get in my head. But oh, the point of me saying that, like, thing about vaccinations, like, because so I guess kids get inoculated for chickenpox now, right? Because I remember, when I was a kid, I remember it was like, all right, like second or third grade, everybody catches it, and they're like, all right, you got to catch it when you're a kid because it's worse when
Yep.
you're an adult. So like
Yeah, you don't want.
yeah, so everyone gets it. And then I was like, with my daughter, she's going to school, and then she was in like fifth grade, and I was like, wait a minute, you never had chickenpox? How? Nobody had. Does anybody get chickenpox anymore? And she's like, no, Dad. Like I was an idiot. Like I just fucking came out of a time machine from like 1730. It's like,
That's
no,
right.
no, nobody gets fucking.
Nobody gets chickenpox anymore.
Yeah, that's
How
for
am I supposed to know?
that's for fucking ancient peasants. But yeah, it's crazy how like how medicine works. Yeah, and I think I feel I'm the same. I'm for sure. I'm not against medicine. Not an anti-vaxxer at all. The only thing is, yeah, I just remember the whole time in the military getting the flu shot, and then after he got out, I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And then a little bit of trepidation about this one.
Yep.
But either way, yeah, yeah. I guess I keep trying. I was trying to sign off, but I keep rambling. But but yeah, yeah, man. We'll have to like I'll have to travel down there and we'll kick it, or y'all come up here. But I guess it's a little. You need like a tour bus if y'all are traveling.
We got an SUV that fits everybody, but it's getting smaller by the
Ooh,
year.
pretty soon you're gonna have in-home designated drivers. So.
Yeah. Well, my oldest is now got his learner's permit, so I've been
Oh,
taking him out and learning.
that's exciting.
That's fun.
Are they learning on
it's scary.
manual?
Hell no, fuck that. I'm not putting them through the shit my dad put me through. Not a goddamn chance. That motherfucker, you want to learn a manual? You go buy yourself a cheap ass little fuck go kart, and you learn how to stick shift with that shit. I'm not teaching your ass. Nope. Mm-mm.
I did the same thing. My dad forced me. I mean, looking
Same
back
here.
on it now, I'm glad he did because now I know how to drive manual. But
Right.
at the time, it was the most like unbearable.
Stressful.
Yeah, like trying to drive and like do like fucking switch gears while he's yelling at me and slapping me in the face.
Yeah. No, don't do that. No, don't pop the clutch. No, don't hit the brakes too hard.
They're like, no. What are you?
No,
What are you
walk
doing?
harder.
What are you
I
doing?
thought I was gonna die every second. I was
Apply
in that
yourself.
vehicle.
Yeah.
Apply yourself.
I was like, I hope some a Mack truck drives into us right now. That would be much better. And then
Yeah, no, I'm not teaching them fucking stick shift. Not a chance. I thought about it, and I was like, I can get me a cheap ass car, fucking teach them how to stick shift. No, that's a whole different fucking amount of time and frustration. Like, if I'm gonna teach them, I'm gonna take it to an empty parking lot where there's no chance of fucking cars anywhere,
yeah,
and I'm gonna let them do that.
yeah,
Like, I don't know. Depends. Like, I plan on buying all the kids their first car.
Yeah.
With Facebook Marketplace, and now I can find cars for super cheap. So, I found a couple cars. I plan on spending like $2,000 in each of their cars, and
yeah,
I'm gonna let them learn on that shit and go.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's I like it. That's So I guess that's a funny thing. Like for my with my dad too. Like maybe it sounds like I'm talking shit on him. I'm not. I'm fucking lucky. I won the lottery with him for sure for dads.
Yeah. Oh,
And
absolutely. Same here.
and so for his kids, he was like, all of my kids, I buy them their. He's like, I'll buy them their first vehicle and their first rifle, and then teach them to use them both and send them off into the world. So that's kind of the mindset that I'm trying to have too. But yeah,
Right.
I can't imagine. Damn, you have to like plan years ahead, like a federal contracting construction project for
Fuck no.
for funding all these kids because you're like, all right, I got.
I just save as much money as I can because I know what's coming. I
Or it's
got
like
one.
all of
This
you are
second.
going to the military. All of you are going to the military. If you think you're going to college, you're going to the military first, so they'll pay for
Well,
it.
I told him I was like, I'm not paying for college. I said, there's no way I can afford a college for 5 kids. So,
You're like, all right, all of you fight. Whoever wins, you get to go to college.
yeah, right. That's about right.
The rest of you figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still eat raw sardines?
Hmm?
Do you still eat raw sardines?
Oh yeah, covered in vinegar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember the first time you did that. And you were just like, "Oh, it's so good, so good." And
I was raised on that shit.
I wanted to like it, but it didn't ever really stick for me. I don't know why. Not Filipino enough. But I don't know. I could keep going. I got a million things to talk about, man. But no, I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, man.
And like I said, I
I
don't.
enjoyed it.
I just I put like a intro music at the beginning and a outro music at the end, and then a light tune that plays throughout, and then I usually make a little thing and then I put it out. But I'll send you the link, so it'll probably be
Yeah,
out.
definitely.
Um, maybe I'll put out. Actually, I think I'll schedule it to go out on Monday because I just put one out yesterday. So
Okay. Cool.
and then oh, do you have? So also like 'cause a lot of the people that I talk to, they have their own businesses or like one of my buddies, he has like a nonprofit he does, and I put like their info on the affiliates page. I don't know. Do you have anything like that you want, or I don't know? You want to put like your firehouse or I don't know. I don't know if you have anything that you want people to know, or anything that you want people to know about or working
You
on.
just want to, donate to my retirement fund.
Okay, okay. We'll start a GoFund.
Just,
A
just fuck around.
GoFundMe. Yeah, we should start it. My daddy beat me. GoFundMe. That's what we said.
The apply yourself GoFundMe.
Yeah.
That's about right.
The apply yourself, go fuck yourself. GoFundMe page. My daddy was mean to me. I'm like, yeah, cool. But yeah.
All right, brother.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
Give all those little kids a little noogie from me. Say hey to the missus, and you don't have dog. You don't have pets. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, at least to the boys. I can't do that to the girls.
I mean, I don't think you should do it to any of them, but or have them do it to each other. Be like, all right,
No, that's terrible. That's a terrible idea.
start like a fight club. Yeah,
They'd
yeah.
be fucking each other up all day, and then I'd be a
Oh yeah, yeah.
fucking yelling at them all day.
Oh my
Can't
god,
do
can
that.
you imagine?
Uh-uh.
Do you remember when I used to like beat up your brother? I got in trouble, or you got in trouble, because you used to
I
give
got in
you
trouble
used
for
to
it.
give me a ride home from school, which was like, because this was before your family moved out to where they were. I think you
Yeah.
lived on base still, so you drove like 15 miles in the other direction just to give me a ride home.
Uh-huh.
And the way I thanked you was I would beat up your brother after school, and then you got in trouble. So
You push them around a bit.
yeah, 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 yeah. I didn't beat him up. Yeah, yeah. We like wrestled, like grappled.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't punch. I didn't. It wasn't. Yeah, yeah. It was like a big brother picking on a little brother kind of thing.
That's right.
Now he's bigger than me. So
Shit. He's just tall.
yeah. But I think we reconciled. But anyways, damn, I could talk to you forever, dude.
Oh,
Hopefully
no.
the rest of our lives. But anyways, yeah,
It will be.
take care of your family. We'll have to like catch up.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man.
All right, brother.
Love you, bro.
Love you, bro.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Who is that?